trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
Yeah!
Get ready for the big game with the free iHeartRadio app. Pre-game with perfectly tailored playlists like Big Game Party and more. iHeartRadio has the perfect soundtrack for your pre-game party, whether it's just you or a block party for the entire neighborhood. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Big Game, and listen now. Make the big game great with iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now you'll see Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingles Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. You're listening 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400, and everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We're coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. You can see us in the studio on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Tuesday of Super Bowl week. And what, your derision just continues?
Well, it's not derision. It's just...
It feels like a lot of derision.
Okay, explain how it's derision. I don't have a vested rooting interest in this, which I do.
It's not just the vested interest. It's the bleh for this whole Super Bowl. We talked about this yesterday. It just still gets on my nerves. I see this as going to be a huge game. I think it's going to be awesome.
Did I ever say it wasn't?
I think it's going to come down to the end. And
did I ever say it wasn't?
It will be memorable.
Did I ever say it wasn't to anything except the last thing you just said?
Nope.
Game will be fun. It'll be fun.
Maybe it won't be memorable. I feel like it will be. I feel like it'll be memorable because one of two things is going to happen. Right? Patrick Mahomes will win another one. And I guess that's the only way it really gets forgotten. Is if this becomes number three in the line of 8 or whatever, then maybe that's the way that this gets forgotten. Especially on the other side of it. If San Francisco wins, this becomes a narrative, right? Doesn't it raise questions of Patrick Mahomes' winning percentage? Because we can't argue the fact that he's got championships, that he's got MVPs.
Well, you can't really argue anything.
So now the only argument against him is going to be, oh, well, he's been to, right, like they did with Tom for a while. Oh, he's been to 8 and he's only won 6.
Well, the argument that I would make, you said that this won't be forgotten. Do you remember who Tom Brady beat in his third?
In his third Super Bowl? That was...
Because the first one was the Rams.
Yep.
Greatest show on turf.
The second one was the Panthers.
And
the third one was the Eagles.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was about to say you got a 1 in 16 chance to get this right.
That was the Donovan McNabb
yes.
TO year.
In the most nondescript and what might have been the best game.
Oh, it was a phenomenal game.
Nobody remembers it.
I remember it. I remember it was a good game.
For the sake of this argument,
I did not remember it until you said... That's the thing. I have to be reminded that they were good games. When you said it yesterday of the Steelers-Cardinals Super Bowl, was it a great? Oh yeah, that was the big Santonio Holmes touchdown in the end zone, 2-toe tapping in the corner.
Yes,
game.
That was the one.
Yeah, I remember that now.
So while I was in Mobile at the Senior Bowl 2024, Reese's Senior Bowl is a good time, and we have more content coming out about the draft, including team-by-team 3-round mock drafts that will start rolling out tomorrow. They were supposed to roll out today, but HWA, T's and P's, had been a little under the weather. I heard something while I was in Mobile, and it's gotten stuck in my head about a player in this game. I'm not a comp guy. You know that drives me absolutely crazy.
Yes.
And I'm not huge on, well, this guy is going to be this guy because then he has to live up to that bar. But I heard it phrased in another way that I had never really thought about. If you can't compare a guy to somebody else, that either means he's really good or completely irrelevant. And that got in my ear. I'm not going to tell you who specifically we were talking about. There was a player at the Senior Bowl that none of us could come up with a comp for. And we were trying to resolve, does that mean he's going to be a great weapon or completely irrelevant? Then it got in my head. And I started thinking about the comp on Pat Mahomes is easy. Not in the way they play, but in the career.
Tom Brady.
It's Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the comp on Brock Purdy? Can you give me a comp? Because I have racked my brain on this now for 5 solid days, and there's only one that I can come to.
I mean, a lot of people want to try to put the Tom Brady comp on him.
Those people smoke crimes.
The late. Why? Why is that so crazy to think? I mean, the same kind of trajectory of a career.
Yeah,
nobody believed in you coming in, and now you are on a team that is winning, and you're the game manager quarterback. That was Tom Brady for 8 years.
All right, so let me conversely just tell you how stupid that is. What you just said also applies to Matt Hasselbeck, Jeff Garcia. These are just off the top of my head because you didn't say that before the show, so I didn't have the opportunity to prep. Those are the first two that came to my mind. Kurt Warner. Yeah, none of those guys are similar to Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. None of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what's driving me crazy about Brock Purdy. I can't figure out exactly where I fall in on him. I know he's not an elite athlete. I know he is not an elite talent. I'm not sure if he's an elite quarterback. Because I'll be honest with you, Tom Brady was an elite athlete. He was an elite talent. He was an elite mind.
Yes.
He was in an elite situation.
Mm-hmm.
And we hold this against Brock Purdy. What I can't put my thumb on is Brock doesn't really look. When I watch things on tape, he doesn't look like anybody else. He doesn't look like Jimmy Garoppolo. Some things Jimmy did better. Some things he does exponentially better. Does that mean he's some great talent? I don't know. I also come up against something that I said before I left for the Senior Bowl. Tell me the amount you could pay Brock Purdy when this contract runs up that makes you feel hunky-dunky. I asked that question in Mobile. I crowdsourced this opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how wide the variant of answers I got was?
Probably 45 to 25.
That's cute. It went from 10 to highest paid quarterback in the league. That's the range of outcomes that I got.
$10 million.
I said, where would you be comfortable?
Right.
That was to somebody that kind of feels like me, of he's not an elite talent, and this is kind of propped up by the system.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think $10 million is insane. That's what you pay Tyrod Taylor or Sam Darnold or something like that.
Baker Mayfield.
Stop.
That's what we paid him this past year.
Yeah, you paid him 8, and you're getting ready to make up for that in droves. But the more I thought about Brock Purdy, the more I realized there really aren't. There's not a natural comp to him. A guy that we thought so little of, that he was the last pick in the draft. San Francisco claims that they had a 5th-round grade on him. They took him in the 7th round. That math. A lot of people don't believe that, but that's the way that NFL draft boards work. They don't tend to have – we don't have 32 first-round draft grades. This year I have 25, and I think this class is special. And I got 2 more that might sneak their way in there. I don't know. I have not gotten that far yet. Almost done with defensive draft grades, and there's 2 that I can't do. Are you a first-rounder or are you a second-rounder? And you may only have 200 players with draftable grades. So the maths that they believed in him that much. But even the team that believed in him this much, you had a 5th-round grade on him. This is also the same team that traded up to get Trey Lance. This is the same team and the same brain trust that traded to get Jimmy Garoppolo. Does that make me feel like you're geniuses and you really saw something in him, or you just got insanely lucky? Because I tend to lend myself to the latter. And I kept going down these things, and then I saw something. While I was gone, you had to interview a Palooza.
Yes.
Well, one of the names on that show was Brad Johnson. Mm-hmm. I cannot get away from that comparison now. And I love Brad.
That Brock Purdy is Brad Johnson?
I love Brad. Brad's one of my top 5 favorite people on this planet.
I could see that.
And if Brock wins a Super Bowl, I think that's how he's going to be viewed. Could it get better than that? Sure. I just don't see a path that Brock's going to get the credit for this. If he was going to, he would already be getting it. Because you've done enough to silence the doubters. The problem is that you don't look like Tom Brady. You don't look like Patrick Mahomes. You don't look like Josh Allen because you're not. And that's where I keep butting up against this. You're telling me that Las Vegas, a place with the smartest of the smarts, that has gold fixtures for a reason, is putting a 2.5-point spread on this game, telling me that they're leaning on the San Francisco side. Something about that don't smell right to me. It hasn't smelled right to me for a week and a half, and it ain't going to get any better between now and Friday.
Is that one of those things that you always say that's just where they found the sweet spot for the money?
That's where it always is.
Where they could get the most action?
The number one biggest myth in the world is that people think lines are what Vegas is how Vegas believes a game will fall out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it works that way. Sometimes it works that way that they will get 50% action on each side with an eventual outcome to a game. More often than not, if they put the spread where they thought a game would end, they'd get 75% of the action on one side. So they don't do that. I can't figure out who's not looking at this going, Kansas City is going to – I won't say they're going to blow you out because they don't blow teams out. I don't see how they're not going to control this.
I don't see how they don't have the upper hand. That's where
I
go down.
I said what I said.
I don't see how they're not the favorite. The experience alone makes you the favorite. The quarterback, the coach, those things alone would make you the favorite to me. I think it's ridiculous. I've been on San Francisco all season long, telling you that they're not as bad as you think that they are, or that at least the top of the NFC wasn't as vastly inferior as you made it out to be.
It is.
It's not. It's not, and I think San Francisco will prove it to you. You
do realize there's nothing San Francisco can do that's going to prove that to me, right?
Really? They come out and beat Kansas City. You're not going to think that they were better than you thought they were?
That's not what you just said. You said the top of the NFC was vastly inferior. The top of the NFC is vastly inferior. That's not even an opinion at this point. That's a damn fact.
Okay.
And there's no San Francisco coming out here and win this game 55-6. That does not change the fact that was a fact. This is the best of a bad conference, period. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Baltimore Ravens were the best team in the league. They didn't get here. And they got pretty well embarrassed on the way here. San Francisco, luckiest team I've ever seen against two horribly flawed rosters.
And nothing they can do against Kansas City.
It's not going to do anything about the NFC. You're making two arguments at one time. I'm talking about the NFC. San Francisco's a different argument. They are what they are. They're super talented. You came out of a bad conference. Mm-hmm. That ain't what I'm talking about. You can't switch the argument midway through and make what I'm saying. You're twisting what I'm saying into trying to fit your narrative. So let me break this down for you. Mm-hmm. San Francisco is not as good as you have made them out to be. Can they prove me wrong on that? Sure. Will my argument be that's a one-off? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I think if we played this game 10 times, Kansas City wins at 8. Might win at 9. But I will see that would mean you're probably better than I thought you were. I still had you at 4, so it's not like I threw you into the pit of misery and said you were the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
Now, the flip side of that argument, the NFC is worse than the AFC. It's not debatable. At this point, anybody that tries to argue with that with me, I'm just going to look at you and pat you on the head and go, you're cute.
Sure.
Because you apparently don't know what you're looking at.
The only thing I was trying to point out was that what a different take we have from I don't care who comes out of the AFC, they'll win by 3 touchdowns to this will be a close one. And to me that should sway you back to maybe these guys weren't so bad.
Do you remember what I said when I said that?
No.
The one caveat would be Kansas City because they don't blow teams out. I said that verbatim and I'll pull it if you need me to. Baltimore, I've already seen them blow you out. I've already seen them blow your doors off.
Yep.
And weird, I just watched this team do the same thing to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not transitive property. Just because you beat a team savagely and they beat you savagely doesn't mean that you're going to beat them double savagely. It's not how this works.
Right.
But that kind of pulls me back to the original point that I was trying to make here. I feel like Brock Purdy's in a zero-net game. And I don't know that I've ever seen anything like it, except Brad Johnson. Because he was really good in that playoff run. Do you ever hear him get any credit there?
No.
Joe Flacco, when the Ravens won a Super Bowl a handful of years ago, do you ever hear him get credit for that? No, it was the defense.
Yeah, rarely.
It was the defense. Go back and watch.
Flacco gets more credit than Dilfer did, right? He did more,
so that makes sense.
But I'm saying he gets more credit. I think Dilfer's your better argument here.
No, not for what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Because Dilfer didn't do as much. Because that's what I keep hearing.
But Brad didn't do as much.
That's not true.
It was all on the defense.
That's not true.
Really?
That's not true.
Okay.
If you're comparing the two, Brad was way more influential to that Super Bowl than Trent Dilfer was. And that's my argument, is that we're treating Brock Purdy like he's Trent Dilfer. He's not. That doesn't mean he's great. It also means that he's not some bum that got here because 2 to 53 is so unbelievably good. Everything's not in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes me wonder, is there anything Brock could do here that will get him the credit? The doubters, is there anything that you could see that will change your mind? Or are we just going in this vicious cycle like a dog chasing their tail? Because I'm not as big of a detractor as people think. To put him in the MVP conversation, you're smoking crack.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you watch Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Brock Purdy and go, those three things are similar, I'm going to, how do I say this nicely? You dumb, dog. That's about the nicest way I can say it.
But is it just because, actually, let's take a break here because I want to get into more of that. Because is it just that Brock Purdy doesn't look good doing it? Or is the efficiency there? Is there something to be said for being so efficient that you do become the most valuable player or a most valuable player candidate? We'll get into it up next right here on ESPN Asheville.
COVID-19? I don't want to risk missing work. I booked an appointment for this season's updated COVID-19 shot designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn about a vaccine option and book your COVID-19 shot on schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Total by Verizon is wireless that goes all in for you. That means unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon, priced by us at $25 a line for 4 lines on the unlimited plan. And as always, no contracts. Sounds pretty hard to beat, but all in is all in. So we added international calling to fill the year with more, hey girl, because it can't be total unless it's all in. Find a store and exclusive deals at totalbyverizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate with autopay discount beginning the month after you enroll plus taxes and fees. Additional restrictions apply. See website for data management practices and full terms.
Say goodbye to pests with Bug Out. With over 60 years of experience, our expert technicians are equipped with innovative products, personalized service, and put our customers first. Choose year-round pest protection with Bug Out. Get a free quote by visiting bugoutservice.com today.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
This is Cam Jordan, All-Pro defensive end with the New Orleans Saints. I'm known for my work on the field, but I also do work on the mic as host of the Off the Edge with Cam Jordan podcast. Whether it's great football combos with all pros like the Eagles' Darius Slay, the Steelers' Cam Hayward, or the Raiders' Max Crosby, or it's fire music takes. The Off the Edge with Cam Jordan podcast is your ultimate playbook for all things football and not football. Get new episodes every Wednesday through the playoffs and Super Bowl 58. Listen on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
The Ingles 2024 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest, presented by Champion Credit Union, will be held Saturday, March 9th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Pack Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and a parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingles Studio on Super Bowl week. Brock Purdy. Jeremy's question was, is he in a no-win situation here? Is he ever going to get the credit if they do come out and win this game? Or is he just the ultimate game manager like a Trent Dilfer or a Brad Johnson?
All right, so the fact that you keep putting those in the same sentence is really funny to me.
Why?
Let me. I like stats.
Yep.
You know, and stats can be misleading,
Mm-hmm.
but there's some that are just straight up empirical truth. All right, Trent Dilfer, the year he won a Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
how many yards did he throw for the entire year? He played in 11 games. I think he started 8 of them.
He only started 8 games?
I believe so. He came in half. It was Elvis Gerbach, I think.
1,300, if that.
15.
Okay.
12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
The defense allowed 6 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
That is a game manager. That is a mediocre quarterback. That is a quarterback that they won in spite of you. Now, Joe Flacco, year they won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already said he doesn't get as much credit as he should. 22 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, threw for almost 4,000 yards. It was the best season he had in his career. And that is only in the regular season. In the playoffs, he was practically the MVP.
He was perfect.
You see a difference there?
Of course.
Okay. Now, this is the one that really is going to tie this together. Brad Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
We love Brad.
Yeah.
You keep almost diminishing him, putting him in that Trent Dilfer role. And a lot of people do that.
Because he doesn't get the credit for the win.
That's my whole point here.
Mm-hmm.
What his stat line look like that year?
Oh, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, let me go ahead and
tell
you.
He was fine.
He made the Pro Bowl in a time that the Pro Bowl actually mattered. He wasn't a 7th replacement like Gardner Minshew.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually voted into the game. That's how good he was. And nobody remembers that. We do, because we know him and we love the guy. 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, threw for 3,000, almost 3,100 yards. Didn't throw for a ton of yards, scored a lot of touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
Had a very large role in that team. Nobody ever talks about that.
No.
Because Michael Bennett was so good in the Super Bowl, and the defense was so good in the Super Bowl, and that was what won it, because that's all you remember.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my question. What can Brock do in this situation? Because he's already done it.
He has to make the play. That's the thing Brock has to do to make it memorable, to get people to come over to your side. It's the only way that guys like this ever get traction and ever get credit. It's like you said. He's not, when you talk about him in the MVP talk, he doesn't look like Lamar Jackson. He doesn't look like Josh Allen. This may not have been how you meant it, but when I hear people say that, it's because he doesn't look like a superstar. He doesn't make the great superstar plays.
Well, I got news for you. Nothing is going to change in that.
I get
he ain't going to grow 3 inches between now and Sunday.
No,
he's not going to become a thick-cut quarterback like Josh Allen.
But if he has the ball with 2 minutes to go and leads a game-winning drive, you're going to think differently of Brock Purdy than than you will otherwise.
That's weird because Joe Flacco did it, and you don't. That's weird because Brad Johnson did it, and you don't.
Really?
They were way
Brad
more
made
integral.
the play? He
Not
made,
in the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
you have
name me
to
the
do
quarterback
it.
that did. Name me the quarterback that made the play in the Super Bowl that we didn't really have a belief in.
Ain't been one.
And I got news for you. Even if he does it, he ain't getting the credit from the detractors anyway.
Really?
This is a dude that has a 70% completion percentage. Do you know how many times that's happened in the last, I want to say it's 15 years in the NFL? He's one of like 9 that have done that.
Mm-hmm.
He had 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. None of that's new information. That's drastically better than all 3 guys that I just told you. I understand it's a different game. I understand stats are inflated. I get it. In terms of AV, which basically is a quantitative stat of how important you were, he's 5 points higher than all 3 quarterbacks I just said. And he's going to be viewed the exact same way. I don't care if you're the one with the ball in your hand with a minute to go and you lead them down to a field goal, you'll still be viewed that way by the guys that are detractors. Because he's already done all the things that should be answering that. He's never going to look the part. He's never going to look as dynamic as Lamar Jackson. Ever. It's not going to happen. And so if you don't believe at this point, you're probably not going to. Because this isn't a Tom Brady thing where he's going to reel off 6 Super Bowls. That's the big difference. Now, let me ask you a question because I feel like you're wanting to disagree with me on what I just said.
A little bit.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
If Tom had won that first Super Bowl against the Rams and never won another one, would we view him as Tom Brady?
No.
Exactly.
Absolutely
That's where
not.
Brock is.
Of course, but he's only...
That's where Brock is.
But he's only 2
he
years
ain't reeling
in.
off 6. He ain't reeling off 3. You can shrug your shoulders
never
like one
know.
time. You got to beat Pat Mahomes, and I got news for you. Unless you have lost your damn mind since I walked out of this building a week and a half ago, you know as well as I do that ain't happening.
And you'd have said the same thing about Tom Brady, too. In
He
2000
had no Pat Mahomes to go up against. None. That's the greatest combination of things that could have happened ever. And you're right, I would have said that about Tom Brady. Salary cap age has completely changed that. You got $25 million receivers now. It ain't happening. It's happening to Pat Mahomes right now. Guess what? He's back. His receiver, gone.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill, see ya. Bye. Defensive playmakers, up and down the side, the defensive side of the ball. Cast has changed. All stays the same. Take Deebo Samuel away from Brock Purdy, and what happens? He turns into Trent Dilfer. I've already seen it. I've actually already witnessed this happen. It's happened multiple times because he went through a 3-game stretch where he looked like he belonged in the CFL. And anybody that defended him, all they want to say, well, he doesn't have his left tackle. Okay, he's not going to have his left tackle for long anyway because he's 34 years old. He's not going to do that. That's the point. That's the whole point of what I've been trying to say the last 25 minutes is that people put these caveats on things. Well, he could. He's not going to. And that's where I'm trying to get to is where does he fit in? He ain't Tom. Stop comparing him to Tom. It's ridiculous. It's insane. Other than the fact that they were both drafted late. Guess what? So was Giovanni Carmazzi. There's the end of your stupid comparison. I'm not talking about this is metaphorical.
I get you.
You're the one I'm yelling at.
I'm letting you go.
You're the one I'm yelling at currently. You ain't the one I'm necessarily talking to.
Like I said, this is my favorite part of the show. Just spin him up and let him go.
Yeah, just wind that little dial on his back and watch him spin around. Brock has a place. And it should be a place where he gets a considerable amount of credit. It ain't high-end credit. And this is where I feel like Brock Purdy has become the politics of the NFL. There are 40% of you that believe one thing, and there is nothing that the other side's going to do that's going to change your mind. Nothing. He could come out here and throw for 500 yards, and you're still going to go, well, I could throw to Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey. The other side, he could come out and throw 7 interceptions and go, well, he's not Pat Mahomes, but he got him there. Okay, Democrat, Republican, boom. You got 20% that changes the narrative here.
And the middle ground comes to, he's good.
And the middle ground is what's right.
He's good.
The middle ground is what's right. If you think he belonged in the MVP discussion, I swear to you, you should call a helpline to get some help on whatever crimes it is that you're doing. If you think he's some bum and just anybody could do this, I'm going to say the same thing I said to the first group. It falls in the middle. Not everything is absolutes. Not everything you see has to be the biggest, the best, the baddest, whatever. It doesn't have to be. Not everything is an ist. Some of them are just what's happening right now. And this is a great story and a great kid. And I'll be honest with you, it's a great family. His sister has followed me on Instagram for the better part of 5 years. His brother played at Florida State.
And does she follow you or you follow her?
Both.
I've seen her picture.
Yeah, both.
I've seen her picture.
Her brother played at Florida State. That's the only reason it happens.
Nobody expected this out of Brock. Nobody expected anything out of Tom either. I don't speak in definitives. That's not my game. At this point, the kid's 2 years in to an NFL career.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to compare him to Tom Brady
is stupid.
Is dumb. You don't do that. It's the easiest thing you have to go to because Tom's the closest you've ever had to an irrelevant draft pick becoming a star, becoming a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Now you've had 2 years. You've got Brock Purdy was on the doorstep of a Super Bowl last year. He's in a Super Bowl this year. I didn't expect that out of Tom Brady. I didn't expect it out of Patrick Mahomes. And I damn sure didn't expect it out of Brock Purdy.
Well, those are three completely different narratives. One of them had one of the best defenses in the NFL, and I hate to break this to all you Tom Brady jock sniffers, but he was way more Trent Dilfer in the first two Super Bowls than...
And that's kind of my point, is that even Tom in those years, he was Trent Dilfer.
And
he
Tom
was the
evolved,
game manager.
And Tom evolved, and you're missing a very carnal part of this. We have set this league up to keep that from ever happening again. Low-key, we've done little tweaks to the salary cap, little tweaks to things, being able to trade compensation draft picks. Couldn't do that until 4 years ago. You know why? Because they're sitting here watching San Francisco going, we know what you're doing. We know exactly what you're doing. You're getting all these guys hired off your staff. You're raking up all this draft capital, and you're throwing things against the wall to see what sticks, which is, oh, by the way, how you got Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine, but not so fast, my friend. It ain't as easy to do this now as it was 20 years ago. And I'm not saying what Tom and what New England did was easy. That's not my point. Now the system, the deck is literally stacked against you.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you keep doing that, and I value you to be one of the smarter football people I know, you keep stacking that deck of, well, I didn't expect Tom to do it. You shouldn't expect Brock to do it either. You shouldn't. And if he never gets back here, which is totally in the realm of possibility, because I got news for you. The NFC is getting better.
Yes.
It's taking a while, but it's getting better. Mm-hmm. Because you have a Detroit that's very formidable. You have Philadelphia that's going to be competently coached next year. Dallas that's always an irk. Seattle ain't bad. Arizona's getting better. I could keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay is a daunting ask. Somebody in the NFC South is going to be, I'll say competent, because I'm not totally sure it's going to be better than that.
I'm not expecting it out of Brock. My flip side to that is don't expect that he can't do it, because we just don't know. He could end up hitting a streak where this team just continues to. Kansas City's doing it right now.
Kansas City has a way better coach and a way better quarterback.
I get
fact
it.
or fiction?
It's a fact. But still, Kyle Shanahan's
the fact
got
that you
years
keep
to
leaving
learn.
that open is irritating me.
I don't understand why.
Because what does it matter? All right, he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Flacco could have won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Pigs could fly. The government could make sense. Birds could become real. There are a lot of things that could happen. Stop living in generalities. This kid is here. He got a team here that is very talented.
Yes.
Stop living in the 40%. He ain't Tom Brady, and he's not some bum that should be selling lumber at Home Depot. He falls in the middle. There's no dynasty coming. Stop talking about a dynasty. We've done this now twice because we have an active one happening in the AFC, and we just came out of another one on the front side of that. Stop talking about dynasties. Okay, there's been 5 in the history of this league. I'm going to say we're not going to get 3 concurrently. Just enjoy the moment. Enjoy what the kid is. Colin asked in the YouTube chat, what does his contract look like because he's getting paid this year? He ain't getting paid this year.
Mm-mm.
He got 2 more years on this deal, and San Francisco's going to let those good times roll.
And he makes $800,000.
Yeah, Zach Wilson made that in 4 games, I think was the stat that I saw. Lamar Jackson made that in a quarter and a half.
Now they'll overpay him on the next one. He'll get the payback contract, especially if they go to another Super Bowl.
I don't know. I don't know that you're going to get that. But I guess that's kind of my point. I spent a week with the smartest NFL minds in this country, and there was absolutely no consensus of what this guy's worth. Should tell you everything you need to know. We don't know. The jury's still out, but it's in that 20%, and I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. I know this kid has a career in this league. I know this kid deserves to be paid. And if he comes out and gets his brain splattered across the driveway by Pat Mahomes, then that doesn't really change anything because that's Pat Mahomes, who's one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. I could make the argument he's the second best quarterback of all time, and he's 28 years old. And conversely, if he comes out and wins the Super Bowl, that doesn't mean put a new lofty expectation on him and keep moving the cheese cracker at the end of the maze, because really all you're doing is confusing the rat, and the rat's hungry. Just acknowledge what the kid is. Stop trying to make him something he's not, and stop trying to diminish him at every turn. And I'm as guilty of it as anybody, because he's not elite, and it makes me angry when people make him that way.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a tranquil weather week. Looks like it's going to continue. Maybe Friday we squeeze out a few showers. Enjoy what we've got. This is some beautiful February weather. Sunny today, 55. Tonight, clear upper 20s. So a little chilly tomorrow morning, but sunshine and close to 60 in the afternoon. Remember, that sun angle getting higher, so we warm up pretty quickly. And we will on Thursday with sunshine, 60. Chance of showers Friday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes.
When you get your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt, prepare to shout, "Jackson Hew, yeah!" from the rooftops. In the event you don't get your biggest refund, you'll get your money back, plus $100.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Get ready for the big game with a free iHeartRadio app, the official partner of the NFL Podcast Network, featuring the biggest names in the game like Ross Tucker and his daily NFL podcast, NFL Now, and many more. Search NFL and listen now. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
Yes, Dad. At Ingles, we know that not every Valentine's Day is 4-star perfection, with string quartets and swanky restaurants.
My boyfriend bought me flowers.
That it's not the money you spend or the elaborate lengths you go to.
Happy Valentine's Day!
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy. And let's get just a bit outside here, talk about sport we don't usually talk about. But I like to complain about it a lot because it's the NBA. The NBA All-Star festivities are coming up. The once celebrated All-Star weekend that now doesn't even register on my things to do on that particular weekend. They're switching things up, trying to get more people excited about what's going on the court. They're putting in a new floor in Indianapolis for All-Star festivities that is going to be a state-of-the-art full video LED court at Lucas Oil Stadium that will be equipped to play full-on like highlight videos on the floor. I'm sure there will be, like during the three-point competition, there will be light-up beacons and things. They'll be able to put stats on the floor, all of that. And I feel like this is going to be a nightmare. I was already out when you did the pre-season or the mid-season tournament, and you turned all the color rush courts in, the solid red Chicago Bulls court that was just eye broccoli to look at.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're going to put flashy things on the floor? To me, that feels like, one, overkill, and number two, it feels like it should be a hazard.
Well, I'm looking at this from a couple different perspectives.
Okay.
One is, as a colorblind man, could you stop, please? Your product is already hard enough to watch, and you start doing all these color rush, weird color combos. I couldn't watch it if I wanted to. That's A. B is from the perspective of a shooter, which is what I was growing up. I don't need flashy things to be distracting me, so this could be an absolute disaster. Then comes, as a profession, I talk about sports. And is it funny to anybody but me that every sport outside of football does this gimmicky, TikTok-era, Instagram-loving, pander to millennials who have the attention span of a tsetse-fly crap that nobody cares about? Every single one of you are doing it. The NBA is the worst of all.
Yeah, it's called a gimmick. That's the only way we can get eyeballs. That's the only way that we can get headlines.
But you're not getting eyeballs. That's the thing.
But we think we are. And I guess the numbers say that they are. Didn't I see a story the other day, I think, where viewership for the NBA was up? I mean, it might be up like 2%. But any gain is a gain at this point.
NBA television ratings at this point are so pathetically bad that I genuinely struggle to even mention it. Because you don't care. You're showing us that with your eyeballs. You would rather hear us, in large part. And trust me, I know there are people that are exceptions to this rule. I get that. I'm talking about on the grander scale, playing the percentages here. They're so bad that I'm not sure there's any way to save it. I look at every sport. Name me the sport that's trending up that's not soccer and football.
I don't have one for you. I don't have one.
I thought you said I have one. I thought you were about to bring out pickleball, and I was going to throw something at you.
Cricket. I think cricket's gaining popularity.
Internationally. Okay, and now I'm glad you said that, actually, because it steers into something. Patrick Holt just said Thursday Night Football color rush unis are pretty gimmicky. Yeah, did you notice they stopped doing that? Did you notice all the weird color rush uniforms went away? All the weird, fully green New York Jet uniforms, all the fully red Buffalo Bill uniforms, those all went away.
Yeah, but for some reason we can't get rid of those god-awful Seahawks jerseys.
Which
the neon green ones.
No.
Gross.
Because they sell jerseys. Because a certain percentage of people like it.
Mm-hmm.
He then followed it up with games overseas and the Toy Story game and the Nickelodeon Slime broadcast. I want you to think about while we're doing that. Is that gimmicky? Yes, it is. But it's also steering to specific parts of the populace that we don't necessarily have. Kids are watching less sports. They're also doing less naughty things. I just found that out over the kids are doing adult things at a later and later age, and I'm like,
oh, okay,
that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but okay, I don't do the stat things. That's the NFL steering into a part of the populace that they don't have, because they're looking at 50+ million of us that I got you.
Mm-hmm.
And there ain't nothing I can do that's going to push you away. Because a lot of you said, oh, I'm not going to watch it until they take those words out of the end zone or those words off the back of the helmet. Guess what? Super Bowl Sunday, where you going to be? Where you going to be, everybody? I bet I know. I bet I know. Just broke every record we've ever had. Broke them all.
Roger Goodell said yesterday, 200 million people will watch this.
26% of the American populace. That's children and the elderly will have a wager of some kind on the Super Bowl, and it will generate $23.1 billion in the U.S. economy.
Mm-hmm.
That's just legal bets, folks, because we don't have a way to track your little behind Walmart. Hey, I got a hundy on the Chiefs. You don't have a way to track that. Projections on that are over $100 billion. Meanwhile, the NBA has a video game court.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that cute?
I mean, it is going to be cute.
Isn't that cute?
It'll, but you can't bring this out in actual play.
Oh, they'll try.
I'm sure they will.
They'll try.
And the first time somebody gets distracted by a flashing light and gets hurt and falls or something like that, then it's going to be a problem.
I'm not so much worried about them getting hurt from the distraction. I'm more worried about them getting hurt from the court itself. I mean, you understand this thing's glass, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I get it's got stuff underneath it,
mm-hmm.
but it's still glass.
It is. It's got two little panes of glass on it. Fully capable. I guess the playing surface isn't all that different from a parquet floor.
I would say it's probably
even using parquet anymore.
They're not.
If it's like
parquet.
A synthetic something.
Yeah, there's a reason that they talk about that in Boston, because that's the only parquet floor that's been around for quite some time.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, now it's a polyurethane something,
mm-hmm.
and I will bet there's and that's just the lacquer that goes over top of it. And I would say they probably have the same thing here. That even if it cracked, it would keep. You're not going to get like a shard of glass or something like that.
Yeah. God, I don't know if it's probably that type of glass that, I mean, you'd have to hit it with a car.
Is it bulletproof? Is it the same thing that the windows at Waffle House are made out of?
It would have to be like two massive bodies crashing 10 feet above the court to crack that glass. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, my endeavor to Alabama, one of the things that was the most shocking to me is how committed Mullet Sr. was to getting a good breakfast, quote unquote, from Waffle House. It's like, I understand every word you just said. I am not so sure I understand them in that order. Waffle House is a good place to get two things: drugs in the parking lot and a scar. Because you show up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you find out why I know that they have bulletproof windows.
Mm-hmm. But it's not like the players can't see what's going on underneath their feet. And during the festivities, they showed that it's got animations on it for like the skills competition, the path that you have to go on the ball. It'll come out in front of the guy, and that'll be cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you can't put stuff like that on the floor in real game time, which I fear they're going to try to do.
I will say this, and this is just the one segment we're going to talk about sports that aren't football. I did watch the hockey skills contest.
Was that fun?
It actually was.
Good.
It actually was. I feel like hockey does a better job than the rest of them do of pandering to their base. This is what you want. The NBA and Major League Baseball cannot understand that you're a niche sport. They can't get it. Football just eviscerated Major League Baseball as America's pastime in a survey that came out. And I don't remember who did the survey. But it was 2-1. People saying that whether you watch it, whether you play it, what is America's pastime? And football beat it 2-1. But baseball and basketball can't figure out. We're a niche. We should pander to the niche. Stop trying to get the fans that have already said, we're good. You're trying to pander to the me's of the world. We don't care. Yet there's nothing you can do to get me. The NBA, you got me for the playoffs. You know why? Because you're smart enough to schedule your playoffs in the deadest part of the calendar. Major League Baseball, your World Series ends in the heart of football season. You could literally tell me that the winning lottery numbers were going to be said during the 7th inning stretch, and I am not sure I could peel myself away from Sunday Night Football long enough to see it. But it's on days they don't play. I don't care. I'm so cooked with football that by Wednesday, I just want to sit down and watch Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I have no interest in any of the crap you're doing. NBA All-Star Game, what is that, in 2 weeks?
Yes.
I know the trade deadline's in like 2 days. And I remember when we used to do like extravaganzas about the NBA trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
We planning on doing that this year?
No, sir.
Yeah, you know why? Because you put your trade deadline the same week as the Super Bowl. You see how stupid that is when I say it out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl is a bigger story than your trade deadline.
Yeah, it's week after next is the All-Star game or All-Star weekend.
So that's the week before the combine. I'm trying to think if I could find a path to even watch a second of the game. Because they did that gimmicky crap that you like with the Elam ending. And we had that dude on the show. He was a super nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
A super smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. And I think they stopped doing that.
It was fun once. That first year, the coronavirus year, wasn't that the year that they did all that? They revamped it. Had the Kobe thing. Everybody plays the 24 or whatever. All those things were cool. And it was cool once. After that, it went right back to being the gross exhibition that it always was.
Patrick Holt said he still watches the dunk contest. What was the last dunk contest you watched?
It's been 4 years, maybe.
I'm pretty sure Dwight Howard was in the last one that I watched. He's got way bigger problems right now than.
It's just never. I think Zach LaVine probably was the last one that I watched start to finish.
I remember Aaron Gordon too. I'm trying to remember if I watched it.
Where he jumped over the car?
That was Blake Griffin. Oh, did Aaron Gordon?
I think Aaron Gordon did that too. Yeah.
I remember Blake Griffin did it and had a church choir playing in the background.
Yes.
Andrew,
it's just all been done, and until y'all start doing flips or something, I don't care.
Andrew Ayers said that he thinks they're going after teenagers and young adults. Here's the problem with that. There's actually 2 big problems with that. And I would caution the NFL in doing this. 1, they don't have any money. That's A. 2, they have the attention span of a bumblebee. And so you start pandering to that, and you just like this. This is a great example of that because I kind of feel like this is what the NBA is doing. They're trying to pander to a younger demographic. The problem is that you completely alienate everybody that's above about 30 because I don't need to see flashing lights blinking at me all the time.
But at some point, you have to, and this is just a guesstimation on my part. If I were in that front office, at some point, you have to look at it and go, okay, we've already lost this generation. Now we've got to build a fan base in the next generation because we've already lost this one. The people that are my age, that are 40 years old, you're never getting us back. There's nothing you can do to make this look like the Michael years. You're not going back to the heyday. So
that's where they're lost.
Going to the younger demographic is probably a good idea. Of let's get them hooked in, show them that basketball is their sport, not football, while they're young.
So I'll go ahead and tell you of every sport that I've watched fail, it's been one of 2 things. You've either pandered to the really young or the really old. And you left out that demographic that's, I don't know, how do I say this nicely? The 2 people talking to you right now. Because we're in our prime earning years and we love sports. We would kill for you to give us something to watch because we're getting ready to go into a 5-6 month period where there are no games, and yet we will still talk about the NFL because your product is so unbelievably putrid that I can't find a way to care. The NBA has 20 stars that anybody with a passing knowledge knows. You get into us, we could probably get to 50. Major League Baseball has about 5. That's the problem. Stop giving me gimmicks. Develop a star. I'll watch a star. Ellie Dela Cruz, the kid from the Reds. Yep. I would have watched that. Then what did you do? You threw the baby out with the bathwater, and the Reds traded off everything they had. Make that make sense to me. Because you're too worried about blinking lights and keeping our attention for 15 seconds. Try to keep our attention for the next 15 years, and we'll talk. The NBA's done everything in their power to eradicate that. Major League Baseball did that 15 years ago. Hey, NBA, take a look at them. It's the ghost of Christmas future.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Asheville Smiles has been featured in national publications like Good Housekeeping and Woman's Day. And check out this 5-star Google review. My dental experience was wonderful. I cannot say enough about Dr. Merrill and her amazing team at Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. Dr. Merrill took time to explain everything. She made me feel relaxed and confident that I was in good hands. I apologize for those tears at your office. Those were tears of joy. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Dr. Merrill, for the hope to get my smile back. Check out Asheville Smiles online at AshevilleSmiles.com.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Marine litter is often the result of poorly managed trash on land. To help prevent trash from escaping from your outdoor trash bins on collection day, keep the trash bin lid closed. Don't overflow it, and put it out for pickup shortly before the scheduled pickup time. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or injury? Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence. Walk and run and play and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Phone 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, had a tranquil weather week. Looks like it's going to continue. Maybe Friday we squeeze out a few showers. Enjoy what we've got. This is some beautiful February weather. Sunny today, 55. Tonight, clear upper 20s. So a little chilly tomorrow morning, but sunshine and close to 60 in the afternoon. Remember that sun angle getting higher, so we warm up pretty quickly. And we will on Thursday with sunshine, 60. Chance of showers Friday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Win $1,000 in inflation compensation.
I just won $1,000.
And kick your new year into high gear.
What? No way. Thank you. I try every day. That's great.
Happening now.
Brought to you by PSG. PSG Traffic Services exists to save lives by providing safe work zones and to provide all your traffic needs. PSG is hiring team members. Excellent pay and benefits. Call 910-821-1720 or visit psgtrafficservices.com.
Hear that?
That's the sound of new digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Now you can play right from your phone and win real cash prizes. It may all sound new, but winning, oh yeah, big money, is as thrilling as ever. Register to play digital instants for a whole new way to win. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, money. That's money. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man.
I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville. You're in the Sportsocracy. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 in the Sportsocracy is heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We are seen live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, check out my fresh fly threads.
Yeah. If you can't say the phrase, it means they're not fresh fly threads. They actually it was compared to the Mork and Mindy sweater.
It is kind of Morky. I do like this sweater.
So are you?
Yeah, of course. It reminded me of my two favorite historic sports jerseys, so I had to buy them. It's the Denver Nuggets and the Houston Astros. It's exact same colors.
Okay.
What was that face for?
Yeah, because as somebody that has a decent amount of Denver Nuggets apparel, that would be the Denver Tenders.
Oh, stop.
And they're grilled tenders. So they're not like the good ones.
It's the exact same colors. What are you talking about? It just doesn't have any green in it. It's the only thing that's missing. Navy blue, red, orange, yellow, all layered on top of each other.
You do look like you look like an Olympic coach from a country that I've never heard of.
Somebody mentioned that. I've got a Bundesliga shirt.
Yes, you do look like you should be barking orders in a sport that I don't understand, like the curling coach from I don't know, Czechoslovakia or something like that. That country doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Yeah, I believe it does.
No, I'm pretty sure it does.
I believe it does.
Does it?
I don't know.
Okay,
not
so
good
something
at
we learned
geography.
about us. Geography, not our strong suit.
I'm sure it does. Anyhow.
We have a member chat from Pennywise. You'll have to hit a button because I still don't have buttons.
You still don't have your buttons set up over there.
Well, it would help if I'd bring in the piece that's supposed to fix that, but
Yes.
I've forgotten 2 days in a row.
Yes, it would.
Pennywise asked if I will be at the 2024 NFL Combine. We're hoping to have an announcement on that. If not this week, then next. Those negotiations are still happening. Plus, we have to be able to get Tank out of the house without Mrs. Tank stabbing him in the neck with a knife.
She's always looking to for an opportunity to get me out of the house.
My wife looked at the calendar and went, "That's 4 weeks from now. That's about the time I'll be. That's about the time I'll be tired of you again."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, the Czech Republic is still a country.
I say Czechoslovakia.
I had to Google it, so
the Czech Republic and Czechoslovakia are different.
Yeah, are they though?
Well, I mean, the land is the same, but the it's kind of like Winnie the Pooh versus Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. The characters are the same, but the tenor is very different.
It's so funny that you brought that up.
Blood and Honey.
Because there was a groundbreaking article on Entertainment Weekly. There will be a sequel.
Trailer just dropped.
Did it really?
Yeah, I saw it earlier. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw I'm planning on watching it at some point today.
See Pooh, Piglet, Owl, and Tigger 2 leave a trail of death and mayhem in the trailer for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
I'm back, and I'm angry.
You do that oh so well.
Yeah, I do a lot of things well. Impression-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I actually stood up on a chair in Mobile doing Lou Holtz, and that was...
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
How many beers?
Oh, that was 30. That was on the good night. That was the reason I had a crowd around me.
Gotcha.
I went off about Lou Holtz and Ryan Day. That's one of those impressions you can tell how it's going to land about 4 seconds in. Like, you get one good sentence out, you know. You got it or you didn't get it. And if you got it, I'm going to keep going until you're tired of it.
Because that is the Jeremy Greene way. Just beat it into submission.
Since I was 14 years old. Boom! Let's go! I'm back! I'm back, baby!
Yep. If I have to hear that Swallows video one more time, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind. Anyhow, welcome into the program. If you're just joining us, it is your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. As always, we will not let you down at any turn. The Super Bowl just days away. Patrick Mahomes is, well, I mean, let's face it. He wakes up in the morning and he just wheezes excellence. Because he's already on the short list of the GOATs. I know you hate GOAT talk. But
I was never a fan of Stevie Nicks.
It's hard to have a start of a career like this and for you to ignore the signs. And everybody asked him about it last night at media night. That's one of the popular questions is, you're chasing down Brady. He takes it in stride as best he can. To me, this is part of Patrick Mahomes' superpower. Of being able to take all of this pressure and still perform the way he does.
Do you know where he'll rank all time if he wins Sunday?
If he wins on Sunday?
Super Bowl wins. How many quarterbacks will have more Super Bowl wins than Pat Mahomes? By the way, he's 28 years old.
It's just one, right? Just Tom.
No, you'll have Tom, Terry Bradshaw, and Joe Montana. He'll be tied with Troy Aikman.
I forgot they had 4.
With a win, you're tied for 4th all time. Mm-hmm. And you've been in this league for 7 years, and you didn't play one of them.
He's already number 2 all time in playoff wins.
Which is insane.
He wins, I think he won last week, put him at 14, and I think he's tied right now. If he wins the Super Bowl, I think that'll be his 15th playoff win, which puts him in second place behind Tom Brady.
He'll need one more year. Okay. Montana's got 16.
Okay, excuse me.
He's tied with Peyton Manning right now.
I knew he wasn't far.
Think about what I just said. 6 years into your career, you're tied with Peyton Manning, Steve Young, John Elway, and Terry Bradshaw. Oh, and by the way, you've been the 1 seed multiple times, so you didn't get the extra game before anybody says, well, they didn't have the wild card round. I'm well aware of that. The bar graph is hilarious. It's just Tom Brady way up here, and everyone else is down here.
Mm-hmm. He's now in the crosshairs of everybody. Everybody wants to be Patrick Mahomes. Everybody wants to have the career Patrick Mahomes has. Everybody wants to have the contract, the money, the coaches, all of it. He is the most envied person in sports right now, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, minus his wife and his brother. That's almost like God went, I have to give you 2 real annoyances. I can't give you everything.
All right, so everything has a downside.
I created TikTok, and I gave it to your brother.
I mean, I could hand you a briefcase with $6 million in it. It would be a little heavy. There would be a burden. Nobody's feeling sorry for you, though.
No, I mean, and they shouldn't. I'm curious of can he actually topple Tom? And I don't think it's as out of the range of possibilities as people think. We thought Tom was going to set these records and just walk away from everybody. Mm-hmm. Look, this Pat Mahomes thing ain't stopping anytime soon. He's 28 now. He'll be 29 right around the kickoff of next year. And you got Aaron Rodgers that's already played into his 40s. Tom played till he was 46. And Pat's never been hit.
Does it matter what happens next, though? Does it matter what happens in the next era of Chiefs football? Because there will be another one. He will not. Andy Reid will not be around forever. So
it's weird. There's a story on ESPN today that said he is going nowhere fast. He loves two things:
cheeseburgers and football.
Cheeseburgers and football.
I saw that same article, and I completely agree. I don't think he's going anywhere right now, but I do feel like 2-3 years from now that'll be in getting near the end of the line.
Well, let's say that Andy went to where Bill was. Okay. And by the way, Bill's actively still trying to get in the league and is already telling people that he plans on coaching next year. You do have to have a destination. It seemed to be really looking past that because you wanted them. They did not want you. That's still 8 years. Andy Reid's just 65 right now. Turned 66 right at, he and I almost share a birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
got a lot of damage.
It's 8 years from now.
There's a lot of damage can be done.
8 years would put Pat Mahomes at 36, 37 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with that. All right, if you tell me there's somebody that comes in on the backside and fills in those last handful of years, I'm almost not sure that I don't like that better. Because you'll have a franchise that is so valuable, that is so cash rich. I mean, you don't think they're going to get the best coach on the market? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's going to be Andy Reid. There's only been a handful of those in NFL history. But I almost think that's encouraging.
But in 8 years, could they have I'm trying to do the math in my head, a 50-ish year-old, maybe not even 50-year-old Sean McVay? I mean, that's where you could get.
You're hypothesizing way too much.
Of course I am. But what I'm saying is I get the point what you're saying. They can have whatever they want. Because anybody's going to want to play or coach with Patrick Mahomes, the greatest of all time, or one of them. I want to be a part of that story. If I'm a coach, I don't care. I want to be a part of that story.
Well, I mean, and that's kind of the point. And you look at what Pat did with the contract. I guess that's why I got so irritated with Brock Purdy could have two or three. No, how about you just enjoy the moment? All right, this is the second time you've gotten here since 1994. You ain't won one since then. That was almost 30 years ago. So just enjoy this. Because there's a big bad wolf over there that doesn't really appear to be slowing down anytime soon. Oh, and by the way, they draft obnoxiously well. New England did this in spite of that because they never did it tremendously well. They hit some first-round picks and they tapped out on guys early, so they always had a lot of capital. And they just throw a lot against the wall and see what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City drafts really well. So that ain't stopping anytime soon. That's what we were talking about yesterday, is that I feel like a lot of NFL fans look at Kansas City the same way I do. Yeah, I'm tired of seeing you here, but it's not even that. The borderline hatred comes from you're everything I wish my team was.
Mm-hmm.
And is not going to be, and I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt.
And because of that, you get more attention. And because of that, you're the headline story. It all feeds itself. You become the best, you become the hated. It's never not been the case.
It's happened every single time.
I mean, except for the only one I can think of is the Michael Bulls.
Oh, no, they were hated. There were a lot of people like me that hated. I despised the Michael Bulls. Oh,
okay. Yeah. See, I didn't get that because I'm a Tar Heel guy, right? I grew up in North Carolina, and Michael Jordan hung the moon. So when the Chicago Bulls were winning 6 titles, we were celebrating. It was the most well-embraced dynasty that I can think of.
I would agree with that because Michael was just he was different. There were less people that hated him. The ones that hated him really hated him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's true of anybody that wins a lot. Notorious B.I.G. asked, "Do the Chiefs really draft well?" Well, it's funny you asked that because I'm going through and grading the preliminary grade on 21 and the final grade for 20 because 3 full years out, that's where I can grade a draft class. Would you like to hear the players they added in those 2 classes?
Love to.
Nick Bolton, one of the best linebackers in the league. Creed Humphrey, who I could make the argument's the best center in the league now that Jason Kelsey's gone. Trey Smith, who's one of the best guards in the league. Willie Gay, who is a nice rotational piece. L'Jarius Sneed, who's one of the best corners in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the others, gruesome misses. Josh Kando, Cornell Powell, Lucas Niang. None of that's particularly good. Kansas City's one of those teams, and to me, this is the best way you can go. We hit a lot of home runs. We don't necessarily hit as many singles.
So they're like the Crash Davis of we're either hitting dingers or striking out.
Is that the one played for Baltimore?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was trying to reference.
Yes.
What's his real first? Chris?
No, maybe,
I think his first name was
Chris. We called him Crash. Everybody called him Crash. We got an Orioles fan here. Stephen Tall will tell us in 2 seconds.
Oh, we were talking about Pat Mahomes, so he had to.
He
had to venture out for a bit.
Can't, hurts my ears. Can't listen to greatness.
Oh, I didn't read this. He said, did you read the second comment? He said the line Karloftis, Nick Bolton were the only draft home runs. You're right, minus the corners. And Trent McDuffie was in 22. I can't grade that one yet.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, at this point, nobody drafts great. And this past week has taught me why. But when you see how many people these guys have in Mobile, it's like, oh, these little unheralded stars that we all used to just these guys have in Mobile, it's like, this is our guy, and we've just fallen in love with him. That's not going to happen anymore. Because everybody's they're putting so much into scouting, so much into that somebody that can just go pillar to post, that's not real likely at this point.
Yeah.
The Rams draft really well, but it's been because they had a ton of capital. They scout well, don't get me wrong.
Look, if you draft well,
but
how many draft picks?
I mean, my God, they took Stetson Bennett. So,
how many draft picks are you hitting? To be in that category of this team drafts well, what's your average? You got to hit, 3?
If you have 7 picks a year, you hit 1 home run, a triple every other year, 2 stand-up doubles, and a single. You're killing it. Killing it. I could count on one hand the number of teams I've ever seen hit 4 home runs in the same draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think Seattle did a couple years ago. The Jets did a couple years ago. There have been a few others. But they tend to age poorly. Like, even the drafts where we get to this point, and you look at it and go, man, that was so good. You look at it at year 5, and everybody starts getting paid, and injuries start to ring up. It's not for long. In large part.
Well, I mean, that's the league.
By the way, that's why we all grade at year 3. Because it's far enough in that there's no, they're grooming him. They're waiting for his shot. No, if you're that good, you've had your shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's before the regression starts and makes all of it look dumb.
It's the sweet spot. It's the average spot. The average life of an NFL player is 2.6 years?
2.4.
2.4 years.
That's of a running back. Average of a player, I think, is 3.2 at this point.
Well, it's all about in the same
quarterbacks push
vein.
that up a little bit.
Right, you got to be special to make it in this league. You got to be special to get to the league, obviously. But you got to be super special to stick around. And there's only going to be one every generation that could possibly separate themselves. The problem is we've had no separation here. Tom Brady did it, and then he immediately overlapped with what has now become the earliest, newest dynasty.
And that's the thought, is that Andy Reid's greatest decision was falling in love with Pat Mahomes. And then everything else falls into place. And I'll give you an example of that. Andrew Ayers in our YouTube chat said the big think is you hit in the first, second, third rounds, and then lottery tickets down from there. Outside of Felix Anudike-Uzomah, who they drafted this year, and it's still too early because he's down the depth chart, they've in the first 2 rounds, they've gone Rashee Rice, Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Sky Moore, Brian Cook, Nick Bolton, Creed Humphrey, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They're not all winners. And Willie Gay in the last 4 years. I'd put that up against anybody in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And that's as a Jets fan who had probably the best top 4 draft I've ever seen. With Sauce, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson and Breece Hall, and you're still losers. Sorry. The Athletic article came out. Blood came out of my ear. I wasn't here to complain about it.
Will it ever end? Of course, it's going to come to an end at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Will it wane? Will the Kansas City Chiefs do the same thing that the New England Patriots did and take a step back for a few years, still compete? Obviously, they were still making AFC championship games. They got sidetracked from every now and then. There was an Oakland Raiders and a Pittsburgh Steelers and things like that.
It's funny you said that.
We could see it. It's like Faces of the Moon.
It's funny you said that. After the break, I want to talk about that very thing because we hear a lot of comps of Tom and Pat Mahomes. I want to get out my crystal ball and maybe see what's in the upcoming future.
This is the Sportsocracy, and you're on ESPN Asheville.
Renewal by Anderson's here. Kickstart the new year with this incredible deal. Buy one window or door and get the second for 40% off. Act now to schedule your free, no-obligation, in-home consultation with my team at freewindowassessment.com. That's freewindowassessment.com.
After years of discomfort, it's like I'm alive again.
Sonia Hackett talks about how QC Kinetics changed her life.
QC Kinetics has given me my quality of life back.
Before QC Kinetics, Sonia suffered from horrible knee and back pain stemming from a car accident.
I was wearing knee braces just to try to maneuver around.
Sonia hated the idea of pain meds, and surgery seemed too risky. So she turned to the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, the leaders in advanced regenerative medicine.
That consultation just changed my life. I can do the treadmill, everything. I don't have anything holding me back. The quality of life is pain-free. QC Kinetics has made us very happy.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today.
I'm going to get emotional again. They are like family members to me. They care.
Call QC Kinetics now.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Want to get your hands on the next big thing? At Verizon, new and existing customers can trade in their old Samsung phone, any model, in any condition, and get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with Galaxy AI on us with select unlimited plans. A better plan to save is Verizon. $999.99 device payment or a full retail purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line on unlimited ultimate or select 5G unlimited plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR.
To my newborn baby boy, the day you arrived was one of the happiest days of my life. Right up there with the day I bought my RV from that guy on the internet and insured it with Progressive. What a deal. Just know, son, I'll always be here for you. And by here, I mean in the middle of absolutely nowhere. In my RV.
Protect your baby with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get ready for the big game with the free iHeartRadio app, the official partner of the NFL Podcast Network, featuring the biggest names in the game like Ross Tucker and his daily NFL podcast.
I am so looking forward to that game.
NFL Total Access.
That's another mini storyline to watch.
NFL Now.
This could be the dangerous team.
And many more. The free iHeartRadio app in the NFL, getting you the insight and behind-the-scenes stories you need for the big game. Just open the free iHeartRadio app and search NFL and listen now. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Ingles 2024 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest, presented by Champion Credit Union, will be held Saturday, March 9th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Pack Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and a parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville. The GOAT, Junior, Patrick Mahomes. He cannot shake it. The comparisons started 3 years ago. And now that the legend just continues, he can't get away from it.
Well, and I think there is a path that you're going to see a trajectory that was very similar to Tom, but he's already better. You get that, right?
Oh, yeah. Talent-wise?
Well, I mean, he wins. If he wins Sunday, he has 3 in the first 6. Same thing Tom had.
Mm-hmm.
Tom had 3 in the first 4. Then he didn't win one for a real long time. People seem to forget that. It always kind of makes me laugh of what the selective memory that people have. Tom just won every single year. Well, that's funny. From 04 to 14, 10 years, decade.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't win one. What got in his way? Do you remember?
What?
We had an injury right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Had probably the best teams he ever had. You had young Ben with a team that was absolutely stacked.
Mm-hmm.
You had Peyton Manning, who was a little bit older than him, with a team that was absolutely stacked. Eli Manning, sorry, Patriot fans, it's part of the story. I have to say it. I know he haunts your nightmares. And then you just had a bunch of one-offs, like Drew Brees and the Saints, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, that Ravens 49ers year, Russell Wilson. You do realize that the exact same thing could happen to Pat Mahomes, right? Because if you look around the NFL right now, I would say it's better at the top right now than it's ever been before. Just look at the teams that didn't make the playoffs this year. That Bengals team is in a window. They're real good, and they're real young. And they've still got flexibility. Baltimore, I thought that was the best team in the AFC all year. They just don't know how to win. You got into the biggest game of the year, and you flopped. Hey, that's not a shot. It's what happened.
It happens.
And it does happen because people seem to forget Lamar Jackson's still real young.
26?
You got plenty of time for that team to be real good. Oh, and by the way, that's the best drafting team in the league, and it's not close.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to keep them relevant for a really long time. And then I start looking at the one-offs. I mean, and Josh Allen, Justin Herbert with Jim Harbaugh. You got a lot that are going to be around for a while. Just look at the one-offs. You got a Miami Dolphin team that just hired my dog, Anthony Weaver. We'll talk about that later.
Uh-huh.
Love that guy.
Uh-huh.
That could be a one-off. That offense is special. I think you just added somebody that is really smart on the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
Jets have Aaron Rodgers next year if, they can keep from having a mutiny in the locker room. San Francisco, I don't think that's a build that sustains really well because they're the exact opposite. They draft horrifically badly. They hit one home run a year, and the rest of them, they hit themselves in the head with the bat. Then they take the bat to the catcher and get arrested. They're bad. B-A-D-D, bad, bad, bad.
So they're at the end of their window.
I think they're in a New Orleans Saints kind of spot. Of New Orleans did a lot really well, but there was always a yeah, but. Every one of those Saints teams had a yeah, but.
Mm-hmm.
We have this special quarterback. Yeah, but. We got a revolving door at wide receiver. The defense has been super inconsistent. Good sometimes, really bad at other times. The offensive line was inconsistent. It was just kind of what earmarked the Sean Payton era. It's not a shot. It just happened. That's what most of these teams are, those Giants teams that won 2 Super Bowls. They were super flawed.
Mm-hmm.
They were terrible in some of the years before, in between, and after their 2 ring years. That's the way the sport's supposed to go. You're not supposed to have a quarterback that's this much better than everybody else. The problem is that once you get to this point, I feel like Pat, the way quarterback contracts changed, he's now hit the spot where Brady was because people forget this. Brady was on a short-term deal. They had to get that done, and then they had to get everybody else out of the way. They didn't draft particularly well at a time, so they started having to fill the roster, and they got really expensive. They went Randy Moss. They went all the big additions. Then you start losing the Richard Seymours, and there was a lot of roster churn. Kansas City could do that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could see a path in the next 10 years that you have a Super Bowl from Baltimore, a Super Bowl from the Lions, a Super Bowl from the Cleveland Browns, a Super Bowl from the Cincinnati Bengals, and nobody wins 2. That's, I think, very much on the plate. You also have a possibility that, hey, they have the best coach and the best quarterback, and they win 6 in the next, but from what they've already done to the end of the decade. Mm-hmm. That's what would differentiate Pat. Because for me, he's already 2. I'll take him over Bradshaw. That's a different era. I'll take him over Montana. That was a different era.
Yes. I'm with you on that one. He asked me before the show started, where would you have him all time? And to me, he's number 2 behind Tom. I've never seen a guy be this good this quickly. I've seen guys come in and have really great years, maybe early in their career, and then what happens? The league figures them out. We figure out how to stop you. Whatever gimmick you've come up with, you're not reinventing this game until somebody does. And I feel like that's where Pat falls in. Patrick Mahomes is reinventing football is not the right way to say it, but he's taking the next step in reinventing the quarterback position. It's one more thing that we're going to expect from superstar quarterbacks.
That's another level that you didn't have with Bill. Bill had a system, that Patriot way, Josh McDaniels offensive system. That wasn't reinventing the wheel. Do yourself a favor. Go back and watch the Rams when they first started with McVay and watch Kansas City when they first started with Andy Reid. You know what you're going to see? A lot of things that you see from the other 30 teams in the NFL right now. The difference between those two, they're a step ahead of you. They're a step ahead of you because they've got McVay and they got Andy Reid. That's what Tom never had. And I think it's going to be the difference as it carries on.
Is that he's got an offensive coach?
Yes.
Is that what you're thinking?
Okay. After I've thought about this and I've really gone deep into it, I don't think I'd ever hire a defensive coach ever again. Well, I mean, just look at the.
Yeah,
you know what?
I get it.
I didn't forewarn you of this, so you're going to have roughly 4 minutes to prepare for it.
Okay.
In the next segment, I want to talk about the coaches that got hired in this cycle, and I want to see if you can figure out what the commonality of the ones that we really like is. And Patriot fans are probably not going to love what I'm getting to say because you're bringing in a name that we know, and it's really symbolic of the problem with your hire.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a tranquil weather week. It looks like it's going to continue. Maybe Friday we squeeze out a few showers. Enjoy what we've got. This is some beautiful February weather. Sunny today, 55. Tonight, clear upper 20s. So a little chilly tomorrow morning, but sunshine at close to 60 in the afternoon. Remember, that sun angle getting higher, so we warm up pretty quickly. And we will on Thursday with sunshine, 60. Chance of showers Friday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen of the Carolinas.
Renewal by Andersen's here. Kickstart the new year with this incredible deal. Buy one window or door and get the second for 40% off. Act now to schedule your free, no-obligation in-home consultation with my team at freewindowsassessment.com. That's freewindowsassessment.com.
Total by Verizon is wireless that goes all in for you. That means unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon, priced by us at $25 a line for 4 lines on the unlimited plan. And as always, no contracts. Sounds pretty hard to beat, but all in is all in. So we added international calling to fill the year with more, hey girl, because it can't be total unless it's all in. Find a store and exclusive deals at totalbyverizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate with autopay discount beginning the month after you enroll plus taxes and fees. Additional restrictions apply. See website for data management practices and full terms.
Win $1,000 in inflation compensation.
I just won $1,000.
And kick your new year into high gear.
What? No way. I try every day. That's great.
Happening now.
Woo! Brought to you by PSG. PSG Traffic Services exists to save lives by providing safe work zones and to provide all your traffic needs. PSG is hiring team members. Excellent pay and benefits. Call 910-821-1720 or visit psgtrafficservices.com.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
At Ingles, we know Valentine's Day doesn't have to be perfect.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now.
Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Gonna go to Alaska. This is weird because we don't normally have stories from Alaska.
Well, I mean, that's because polar bears don't do weird things most of the time.
That is true. That is true. However, this story is from Anchorage, Alaska, and this is an old crime. The guy's going on trial for the crime as we speak. Woman with a lengthy criminal history, including theft, assault, and prostitution, got into a truck with a man who had picked her up for a date near downtown Anchorage. This was 4 years ago. So this lady of the night gets into the truck for a date with this guy.
Why do we call those dates? It's not dates.
Well, I mean, it's an event.
You're not picking up that steak, Denny. Okay, you're not listening to her talk about that girl at work and how she's out for your job and she's so awful. Don't call that. No, okay. You made this a cash transaction, and I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Now, don't do crimes, by the way,
because
this woman, she comes in, and it's not legal there, so it was crimes.
Selling's legal. Cavorting is legal. Why is selling cavorting not legal? Nobody will ever explain that to me.
She gets in the guy's. She's in the guy's truck. They go out on the date. At some point, she finds, I guess she's looking for stuff because, as you do when you're in a stranger's car, you're going to look for stuff to steal. She does have a history of theft. So she steals an SD card. She said it was a joke at the time, but I don't feel like that's a joke. That's just what she told the cops. I was just kidding when I took it. Because when she got it home and she looked on the SD card, there were things on there that she was never meant to see. This guy...
Were there pictures that were followed by text messages that said you up?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Mm-mm. No, this is much more nefarious than that. On the video, she found videos of the guy she was just with killing other women.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. She found snuff films on the SD card. This guy was a serial killer. He is now on trial for 2 murders of women that he killed prior to this incident with this young woman of the night. That is one of the most terrifying things I think I've ever heard. I don't know what you thought you were getting there when you were stealing the SD card.
I don't know why you would steal an SD card unless you thought you were going to blackmail the guy.
Exactly.
I mean, if what you could blackmail,
don't you think? I
would think blackmail, all you really needed was, I have this receipt. I don't know why I printed a receipt, but I did.
I don't know, maybe pictures of the family and you were going to blackmail him for something. I don't know. But she got way more than she bargained for seeing this SD card. She turned it in to the police. What was weird was the police start looking over the video, and he's doing a voiceover at one point, and they've quoted it. In my movies, everybody always dies. What are my followers going to think of me? People need to know when they are, quote, being serial killed.
In that voice, that was even creepier.
Exactly.
I think
That's
I
why
need
I
a
did
break
it in
from
the
you.
voice. That's why I did it in the voice.
You doing that in your best Buffalo Bill voice.
This guy is pleaded not guilty to 14 charges in connection with the 2 murders. He is on trial as we speak, and hopefully he will be adjudicated properly.
All right, so your story about Buffalo Bob made me not feel all that warm and fuzzy and gave me a little angina. My story may give you more. How do you feel about AI?
I hate it. Don't like it.
I use it for a lot of things that have to do with this show.
Don't even like it.
There are certain things that it can do that I feel really good about. There are other things that it's being used for that I don't love. And now I have the most terrifying one that you'll ever hear in your life. Mm-hmm. The U.S. government is using it in simulated war games. But they've noticed a trend.
Oh, God.
What do you think that trend is?
It starts turning on everybody.
No. Okay.
Skynet, man. We've seen it.
You've all seen
They're
too
teaching
many
it to fight.
Okay. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Brian Haynes when he said this to me the first time he brought AI up to me. There are 2 kinds of people in this world that are afraid of AI and the computers turning on us. People that have watched too many movies and nerds. Who do you think is writing the code? Nerds.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a switch. No matter what you do, there's always a switch. Because nerds are not great at defending themselves. I am the biggest nerd you will ever meet in your life. Why do you think I took Muay Thai? Like, hey, I'm going to punch you in the head because you don't expect me to. Anyway, the common theme that they have found with the AI is that it repeatedly chooses to launch nuclear attacks. Care to guess why?
No.
So the way AI works is that it has a thought process for anything it does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently AI's thought process is, we have it, let's use it to neutralize the threat against us. And it apparently doesn't have a whole lot of value to human life or collateral damage. In a series of these, it has blown up a bridge at 5 o'clock in traffic that had nothing to do. It was just, this will get it to stop. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. That makes me go, maybe, just maybe, we ought not do that. Maybe we need somebody. And now, granted, I don't necessarily love the somebody we have right now.
I'd rather AI be making that call.
No doubt. Where's my tapioca pudding?
If you leave it up to the choices that we have currently, I think the computers could make the better choice.
It's about brewing beer.
The problem is, this is how every one of these stories goes. Every science fiction AI story you've ever heard, the Terminator, all of it, always comes down to the one basic principle. Humans are the enemy, and the computer will destroy us all.
You've watched too many movies. And for me,
it's coming. You're putting too much, you're putting too much into this.
And for me, I have to finish the joke because that's just who I am. I don't believe in launching nuclear beers. Jill, I pooped again.
Oh no! Oh no! Good Lord! So we're using AI to create wartime scenarios.
Yes.
And the AI is just, and are we shocked that the AI is just making dead level decisions with no emotion involved? That's actually the excuse to use the AI. Right? Because it'll end up being, well, the AI is going to tell us the right way to end this. It takes all the emotion out of it, and that's how we win.
Yeah.
That is the argument that will be used.
I just feel like there's a great possibility that the AI machines were around the former president too much.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. How much collateral damage do you want, Mr. President?
Huge. Hit him where it hurts. And don't worry about the PR because the computer doesn't care about the PR.
No. Yeah, that's
so.
There
I
are
will
certain
nuke the
things,
Golden Gate Bridge, right?
There are certain things that we just don't leave it up to computers. Okay, just we need somebody, and it would be nice if that somebody was, I don't know, under the age of 80. That would be awesome. Can't wait to watch 2 presidential debates where both of them were supposed to be in bed 45 minutes ago. That'll be awesome.
All right. Leading into the last break, Jeremy, you said you wanted to go over the coaching hires that have been made this cycle.
Yeah, I was gone for a few of them, so we touched on them, but I feel like we should give them a grade.
Okay.
And if you've got a coordinator or anything like that, feel free to chuck it out there.
Okay. All right.
Talk about the Patriots bringing in Ben McAdoo. You think he got a Taylor since that Giants press conference?
I would hope so.
He should have.
I would hope so at some point. Maybe Tommy Cutlets could hook him up with his.
Taylor?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to use Tommy Cutlets. Taylor.
Or Joe Piscopo.
That dude's got a vested interest in concrete.
What was his agent's name? I forgot the agent's name.
Oh,
it wasn't Joe. It wasn't Joe Piscopo.
I don't remember what it was now. That dude became irrelevant just as quickly as he became pseudo-relevant.
Yeah, he did. All right. So, what was the best grade? Was Jim Harbaugh?
Was it though?
Wasn't it?
Is that the best grade?
I mean, that's your guy. You went in with the goal of this is the guy. He's the guy. We're moving on to the next era. I feel like you knocked that one out of the park.
So for me, there were 2 A+.
Okay.
I was being a little misleading there because yes, Jim Harbaugh was the best grade because he was the best candidate.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that I know. I've seen him win in the NFL. He's going to come in and I think win to a level pretty quickly. He wasn't the only A+ hire that I saw though.
Okay.
Brian Callahan was the other one.
I
think that the more I have thought about that hire in Tennessee, the more I have just come to love it.
That he's the right one to bring Will Levis along.
Mm-hmm.
He's the right one to bring you a star wide receiver in free agency.
Well, you timed it well because T. Higgins is a free agent. And it's just a changing of the guard. By the way, I've heard some really weird things about Mike Vrabel. There was a report that came out, I think it was yesterday, that Vrabel was such a physically imposing man that some teams didn't want to interview him.
I get that.
I don't. That's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard in my life. He's a defensive guy, and if you want to use that, I'm good. Because there's only one defensive hire that's happened in this cycle that I even kind of like, and I just so happen to love it. It's Mike Macdonald.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to argue.
I thought there was a path that I personally would never hire a defensive coach. I don't want a defensive head coach. I want an offensive head coach. But if you're going to hire one, I think that's the best one you could have. He's a young guy with access to a hammer staff. And I don't think I realized how young that Seattle defense is. They have 7 starters that are 27 or younger on defense.
Yeah, that's
a
lot to work with.
And I'm not just saying they actively have 7 stars. I'm talking there are 7 guys that are locked in to that defense, that they have capital in, that they've either already paid or they're going to. That has the makings of a really, really good defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was about as good of a hire as you could possibly have.
Okay, so you gave that one a B?
I gave that one an A.
Oh,
Couldn't give it an A+ because it was a defensive coach, but I don't know that there was a better – I don't know that Seattle had a better option.
They didn't.
I don't know that you had a better – I don't know that unless Ben Johnson just went, hey, I really like Seattle.
None of the names I ever heard were a better option. They were going down the DC path, and Mike was always at the top of it. For me, I mean, I thought Vrabel would work there, but that never caught any steam. That was just spur of the moment. I feel like he'd go there. It never materialized into anything. You made the right call here. Mike Macdonald hopefully will be a guy who will be a head coach in this league for a long, long time. I really hope he's not another young defensive guy that gets a shot and then
It just never gets off the ground. And you only have 3 years at most to get it right. Most places.
Look, Seattle's never really been that. I mean, if you look at least not in the last 2 decades, that's a patient franchise.
Are they, though? They haven't had to be.
Well, they've had Mike Holmgren and Pete Carroll with Jim Mora in between.
Right, and he only lasted 2 years.
He shouldn't. I want to say he lasted a year, but that might have been somewhere else. Jim Mora's a train wreck. Or was. I can't tell you what he is now. It's been a long, long time.
But that's the thing. You had 2 great coaches. You had one guy in the middle that you knew it wasn't. At some point, every franchise is not going to give you 3 years blanket if it's not going to work.
I don't see a path he doesn't get 3 years. Don't see a path.
Maybe.
He'd have to go 2 and 15 twice.
Yes. And I don't think that's happening.
I don't either. Then, looking at the other hires in the cycle, there were 2 that I'm good with. Okay. They're solid Bs to me.
Antonio Pierce.
Antonio Pierce was the one that I think you had to hire. I think you had to hire him. You didn't have a choice. The players were going to mutiny if you didn't, and you already boo-boo kittied this one time before.
Mm-hmm.
The front office is more what's confusing me. The Cliff Kingsbury thing confuses me. I don't hate the Luke Getsy hire. It makes way more sense. Kingsbury made no sense to me. I told you that Friday.
Yes.
This is a weird marriage, and it doesn't really the smell. It didn't pass the smell test. I'm not sure Kingsbury didn't use them to get to Washington. I haven't had anybody tell me that, but that fit is so bizarre.
Maybe so, but it also could have been that was the best job that was being offered at the time. And then Kingsbury didn't come around to Washington until after Quinn.
Yeah, you're looking too much at the time frame. Kingsbury, if he wanted a job, he could have had one. No doubt. And he was walking into a fit there that just, I don't know. It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't ever really give me the warm and fuzzies. And I think Kingsbury's a fine coach. I actually really like him in Washington. I do think that it's funny that has completely cranked up Caleb Williams is going to Washington.
Yes.
Almost ignoring the fact that, there's a team in your way, right?
Short of
showing up at the front offices with shotguns, you're not going to make them do anything.
No. But you put all the pressure on them.
Yeah, Caleb Williams to me is not the kind of prospect that the more I've thought about that, if he wants to go to Washington, it would be a great excuse for Chicago to go, nope, we're bailing out. Meanwhile, they're sitting back behind the doors going, yay, we didn't want to take him anyway.
Well, I don't think they're sticking with Justin. And they'll take one.
The rookie clock is really important, but there's a lot of belief in Justin in Chicago. A lot.
Really? You think Shane Waldron believes in Justin?
I don't think Shane Waldron really has a say in this because he's an offensive coordinator.
Oh, okay.
This is Ryan Poles is looking at this going, if I boo-boo this, I'm unemployed. So, Shane, you feel free. You write up your little report, you give me your opinion, and that will be taken under advisement. And the ultimate say is coming from this dude right here.
Is going to make him be Russell Wilson. That's what they're going to make him do. If they make you hang on to Justin Fields.
Yeah, don't get locked into that. A dude can only do what you've seen him do. It's the only thing I'll tell you.
No, run heavy offense, play action. There's a lot of that goes on in Shane Waldron's system. I think Justin could handle it.
Oh, which, by the way, is exactly what they tried to do last year with Luke Getsy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the best season he's ever had.
Mm-hmm. So the other one that you give a B to is Dave Canales?
It is.
At Carolina?
It is. The arranged marriage with Giro Avero is a little strange to me, and I think Avero wanted out. But those things can be smoothed over.
Mm-hmm.
I think Canales is just going to completely turn everything over to him. I do find it funny that he wrote a book about some of his past indiscretions, and nobody reported on that until the day after he was hired. I'd never heard that until the day after.
I had not either.
Don't write books. Like, and if you're going to write books, write it about like ponies. Don't write it about your life.
Why not?
It's going to show up at the most inopportune time.
But that's what it's for. It's an inspirational book to keep people off the bad path.
Yeah, awesome. Inspire people when you don't get hired for a job because you're going to get asked this question a lot.
And he's very open about it.
Especially considering you just signed a contract with a team in a state where they knocked off adult websites. How many times do you think he's going to get asked that question the next handful of days? Because I'll bet you it's a number.
All right. We're running out of time here for the hour. Bad coaches in this hiring cycle. You want to talk about them coming up after the top of the hour break?
Yeah. We still got to do a daily draft and all that. But we can get to the – so we said the good there.
Yes.
We'll get to the bad after the daily draft.
You're in the Sportocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Nothing says I love you like a clean home. This Valentine's Day, call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Right now, mention ESPN Asheville and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $109, plus a free hallway. Book online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Welcome into this edition of CEOs You Should Know. I'm Mark Starling, and today we're talking with Jeff Furlan, CEO and owner of Hummingbird Insurance in Asheville. Jeff, what kind of charitable organizations does Hummingbird focus their efforts towards?
Well, we tend to focus our charity or our help on other organizations that focus on health or wellness in some way. Specifically, over the past few years, there are some food banks and also medical societies that we really like. And personally, I tend to like Bounty and Soul Food Bank that has very healthy, wholesome, a lot of farm fresh food locally. And then there's also Project Access, which provides medical consultations and possibly surgery to people that do not have the income and do not have coverage.
Thanks, Jeff. You've been listening to CEOs You Should Know, a short conversation with business leaders around Western North Carolina. To hear more of this conversation, just head to the audio archive of this station's website.
This year, surprise your love with more than just flowers. Send them a fun, out-of-the-box floral arrangement from Stargazers Floral Designs. Check out their unique designs at stargazersfloraldesigns.com or call 828-254-3621 to place your order.
This is Carolina basketball.
2-on-1. Baycott finishes the transition hammer.
R.J. Davis, he's going to try a quick 3.
Yes, from the right sideline.
On the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Ends up to Baycott, and he gets the run out. Two-handed flush.
Carolina, it's Davis. He's fouled, and give him it.
This is your radio home for the Tar Heels.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
Yes, Chef.
At Ingles, we know that not every Valentine's Day is 4-star perfection, with string quartets and swanky restaurants.
My boyfriend bought me flowers.
That it's not the money you spend or the elaborate lengths you go to.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a tranquil weather week. Looks like it's going to continue. Maybe Friday we squeeze out a few showers. Enjoy what we've got. This is some beautiful February weather. Sunny today, 55. Tonight, clear upper 20s. So a little chilly tomorrow morning, but sunshine and close to 60 in the afternoon. Remember, that sun angle getting higher, so we warm up pretty quickly. And we will on Thursday with sunshine, 60. Chance of showers Friday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
What's better than winning a prize on a Multiply the Cash scratch-off?
Hello? Well, I guess I'd say probably...
Winning every single prize. What's better than winning every single prize?
I can't think
of... Winning every prize times 2 with the Win-All Doubler.
Well, you don't need me here, so I'm going to go pick up a scratch-off.
New Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery with a chance to win every prize doubled. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.77 to 4.71. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from your friends at ESPN Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles Studio.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click our live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat, get your thoughts in on all things foosball, as it is Super Bowl week. It's also heavy into the offseason here, and at the end of the coaching carousel. Again, I don't think we have many jobs that are available right now. Just one or two, probably.
There's still a handful left.
The Giants coming in to make a defensive coordinator hire today. Was that today or was that last night?
That was today.
Okay. Which Ben McAdoo was the call on that?
Ben McAdoo went to New England.
Oh, New England.
Ben McAdoo was the head coach.
He was the head coach with the Giants. So who took over the Giants job?
Shane Bowen.
Shane Bowen. That's right. That's right.
If only I had just sent you a list that said that very same thing. Not 45 seconds ago.
No, I ain't had time to open it yet.
He even got a new spiffy computer that actually works.
Oh, that 45 seconds of lead time there. I really appreciate it. Doing a bang. It is the Sportsocracy. It's time for the daily draft.
Could have Googled it yourself as well.
Daily draft, best coaching hires.
This is specifically coordinators.
Which is very deep divey. And
it's not that deep divey.
It's pretty deep divey. All right, are you giving me first pick here?
Yeah, considering you just called it deep divey, and I have 14 on my list.
Let's see. Coordinators. Best coordinator hire, I feel like I'm going to go with Kellen Moore in Philadelphia.
Wasn't in my top 14.
How? Why don't you think this is going to – are you just burned on Kellen Moore in 1 year with the Los Angeles Chargers?
Kellen Moore couldn't do special things with Justin Herbert. Now you're going to bring that offense, which I have repeatedly seen get too pass-heavy, to a team that I screamed, run the damn ball 100 times last year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a horrifically bad hire, to be honest.
Really?
I loved Fangio. I think Fangio's a great hire. Because that's a more veteran-laden defense. And I don't think he's going to have some of the same problems he had in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the Kellen Moore hire, unless you've got an ability to adjust, you're playing Madden. That's the only excuse I've got for what you just said.
Yeah.
You got a quarterback whose biggest detraction is that he's not a great thrower of the football. And now I'm going to put him in a pass-happy, gimmicky offense. Make that make sense to me. Frankly, it could have been worse. Could have been Cliff Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm.
But I had my own.
Wow.
I had my own set of. If I had been Philadelphia, I would have been way more interested in Ken Dorsey. I would have been way more interested in Shane Waldron. I would have been way more interested in Arthur Smith. No, I thought the Kellen Moore hire was awful.
That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I believe Jalen Hurts will be good in the Kellen Moore offense.
Awesome.
I
need him to
throw the football.
Is that not fact or fiction? That's the biggest detriment he has.
Sure.
Okay, that's the paramount part of a Kellen Moore offense. He couldn't make it work with Dak Prescott, who is an exponentially better thrower of the football than Jalen Hurts.
Is he really?
I can't believe this is coming as a shock to you. We've railed on Jalen Hurts and his throwing motion and his accuracies. He's got a good deep ball.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a good deep ball. I'll give him that.
I just didn't think you thought Dak was that much better than Jalen.
As a quarterback, I don't. As a thrower, that's night and day. Absolutely night and day.
Okay.
No, in Philadelphia, I needed a coordinator that could think outside the box. I don't think he got one of those. I really don't. I think that, and I'll put it this way, the thing that really confirmed that was every Dallas Cowboy scout, every Dallas Cowboy fan, anybody I know that's affiliated with that team, they went, good luck with that. I ain't found the first mad one. That's always a bad sign. When your biggest division rival hires somebody that was in your building and they go, good. For me, you left me my 1 and my 2,
well,
so this shouldn't take long. Anthony Weaver with Miami Dolphins. To me, that's not just the best coordinator hire of this cycle. It's the best hire of the last 3 years.
Why?
He should have been the defense coordinator of the Ravens. They promoted Zach Orr, and I don't second-guess Baltimore very often. I think you boo-booed this one. And I know why they did it. I know exactly why they did it. Without anybody in that building telling me why you did it, I know why you did it. Because Anthony Weaver interviewed for 4 head coaching jobs this cycle. And you got paranoid that you just lost Mike McDonald. Now you're going to go to Weaver, and you wanted a guy that's going to be around for longer. I get it. I'm not saying you did the wrong thing. I'm also not saying he did the wrong thing by finding somebody that would give it to him, because he's a head coach in this league, and I don't think it's going to take all that long. And then you look at the talent that Miami has, how he's going to do this. I didn't even know about it. Somehow this went completely under the radar. I don't know if it was announced while we were driving. I just somehow managed to miss it. And sports freak Brian Hall told me yesterday, and I said a bunch of words that I cannot say on the show. The Dolphins are in my division. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now I got to play a little defense. You know what? No, I don't. I'm taking my 2. I don't care if you take my 3 and 4. Zach Robinson, the OC in Atlanta. I don't love the Raheem Morris hire. I don't hate it either. I'm afraid we're getting into the, hey, you've been hanging out with Sean McVay, which means you're automatically a smart guy. Not necessarily. He was also really young when he got his first shot. So bringing in, and I think Zach Robinson will be a head coach in this league. And it may not take long. But you give me that kind of offensive scheme with what's going to be a new quarterback that's put in a beautiful position because you have such a good offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a running back that I really believe in. You got a receiver that I really believe in. You got a tight end that I really believe in. Now the question is who that quarterback's going to be. We've all said Justin Fields because Justin Fields to Atlanta just makes sense. Justin Fields with Zach Robinson does not make sense. So be real wary of that being your solution.
Okay, Zach Robinson to Atlanta. I'll go Cliff Kingsbury to Washington.
Is that on the caveat that he brings Caleb Williams with him?
No. It's really not.
So if it's Sam Howell, you feel really good about Cliff Kingsbury.
I feel just fine about it.
I don't.
He's got a wide open system, and he's done that before. Sam's done that before.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him do that with Phil Longo at Carolina. He had a spread out kind of an offense. It's not as bad. It's not the full on air raid, but there are a lot of that air raid notes, I guess we can say, in the Phil Longo offense, and he's got the arm to do it.
There are elements of it. I get it. I'll be honest with you. Cliff was on my list.
Mm-hmm.
He just wasn't quite this high. Mainly because I think Cliff has loftier aspirations, and if it works, I don't know that he's going to be around for long.
Mm-hmm. Could be. He could up and move away if he turns them into something in the next. I don't see a one and done spot here.
I could,
but it could, I guess.
Washington has a lot of capital.
I like Cliff as an offensive mind. I didn't like him as an as a head coach, especially not coming off of a failed run in college, or maybe not a failed run, but it wasn't great. It wasn't like you looked at that and went, "Yeah, that guy's going to be awesome at the next level." I didn't think so, but I do like the offensive mind. I like him as an offensive coordinator, and I absolutely hated the Washington head coach hire. If there's one guy in that building I can at least believe in, it's going to be the offense and Cliff Kingsbury.
I did not love the head coaching hire, and I'm in not love with the OC because I feel like you did this for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you did this for a reason. I'm not sure it's the best reason.
Because you want the quarterback? Is that what you think the reason is?
No.
Okay.
I think you got stuck because Ben Johnson told you no. Then these things started to leak in NFL circles, and Bobby Slowick went, "I'm good. I've already worked in this. I know how big a train wreck this organization can be." And then he panicked. And you went, "Well, we got to have somebody."
And then Cliff Kingsbury, the news, the story is the news came out that he was on the outs with Las Vegas in the negotiations, and that's when the Commanders swooped in and got him. So you heard his name, heard he's available, and went, "Oh my God, that's the guy." You think it was a panic move?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think it was trying to make people feel better about Dan Quinn.
I think it was, and it 100% worked. At least in my case, it 100% worked.
And this Red C in our YouTube chat, who is an Arizona Cardinals fan, this should tell you a lot about how Kingsbury's viewed, at least by Cardinal fans.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Offensive mind, ? Here's his scheme. 2-yard bubble screen on first down, 1-yard jet sweep on second down, run on third down for 2 yards, punt on fourth down." Get a lot of varying opinions about Cliff Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing that doesn't change, and that he might not be the guy you would want to go play golf with, because he might be a person that you wish you could buy him for what he's worth and sell him for what he thinks he's worth.
Okay. All right. My next selection will be Arthur Smith.
No!
Former Atlanta Falcons head coach, now the offensive coordinator with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I never put it together in my head because I'm not that smart, but as soon as it came out, I went, yeah, that made perfect sense.
That was my 3.
Because he's exactly the kind of coach that fits the Pittsburgh mold. At least scheme-wise.
I think he's adaptable. I think he's a good coach that bought into his own press clippings too much. And there was nobody on this planet that could rein him in better than Mike Tomlin. Now, what I'm curious of is, what does this mean for the running game? Does this make me like Najee Harris more? Because in theory it should. I'm not sure that it does, though. Because Arthur Smith learn that sometimes you just have to give the ball to your best player? He didn't do that in Atlanta. He overthought himself. He got stuck with a bad quarterback, and then he got cute. Well, unfortunately, you're stuck with a mediocre to bad quarterback in Pittsburgh. But I do think Kenny Pickett's mobile enough. I actually am kind of stock up on Kenny Pickett. I'm kind of stock up on Pittsburgh after that hire, because I think it was the best you could have done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not bringing in Cliff Kingsbury to work with Kenny Pickett.
No.
You're not bringing in Liam Cohen or Kellen Moore or Mike LaFleur. If for nothing else, it was a hire that I really liked because he was the best fit for you.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me angry because that was
your three.
I thought I was going to go 3-4, have my top four, and just go Mickey Mouse and Big Bird. Let's go. And now I can't do that. All right, so I'll take the one that I know definitively is going to be on my list here. It's Jeff Hafley to the Green Bay Packers. It is shocking to me that we very well could have had two sitting Power 5 head coaches leave college football to go to the NFL to be coordinators. Jeff Hafley took the Packer job. Chip Kelly was super close to taking two coordinator jobs. And that's partially because he knows he's got one foot in the grave and one foot on a banana peel at UCLA, because they're going to go into the Big Ten and get slaughtered. The word of the day is slaughtered. Ah!
There's still time, right? There's still time for him to leave. He can go take the Chargers job.
I don't. That's not happening. Jim Harbaugh and Chip Kelly. That's pistols at dawn. I declare. There will be a duel between those two.
There'll be none of that.
I think Jeff Hafley's a great coach.
I do too.
And I really respect that he kind of back-channeled why he did this. I'm not a salesman. I'm not here to sell 18-year-old kids on some NIL package to come to Boston College. I want to coach football. And I respect that. I think he's really, really smart. And I believe I said this when we discussed this while I was gone. I don't know who made that call. I don't know how they found out Jeff Hafley would be willing to listen to that call. But it's about as good a hire as you'll ever see. Mm-hmm. And I won't be shocked if he's a head coach in this league one day. I think he took the wrong job. Jeff Hafley is a victim of bad timing because he went to Boston College, who does not pour money into their program. And he made the best of a bad situation. And now he goes to Green Bay with a ton of talent.
Well, he made the wrong call because he went at the wrong time. Like, right? Didn't he go right before the virus?
He went in, I think 2020 was his first year.
College football shuts down, NIL comes up, and now you're not competing at Boston College.
And I don't think that anybody knew how quick all of these things would atrophy.
No. Not a chance.
And so for Green Bay, you get a slightly diminished asset because he wasn't a great coach, but he's a great coordinator. And he's a young dude, too. Mm-hmm. All right, your Arthur Smith kind of threw me off, but the beauty of that is that we have to take a commercial break.
Oh, look at that.
It's almost like I saw a clock, and I played four corners until the half ran out.
Way to go, Dean.
Second half.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The best coordinator hires of the coaching cycle in today's daily draft will continue next.
Employment professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about posting jobs, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to expresspros.com to find the location near you. That's expresspros.com.
Stargazers Designs will assure that your Valentine receives gorgeous flowers to make their day truly memorable. Locally owned and operated, Stargazers Designs has created modest to luxury custom arrangements for nearly 30 years. For delivery or pickup, call 828-254-3621. That's 828-254-3621. Or order at stargazersfloraldesigns.com. Stargazers Designs, always the best choice for flowers and more.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
The check is good, the experience is smooth, and the reviews online are wonderful at GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's best car buyer for nothing.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
What's better than winning a prize on a Multiply the Cash scratch-off?
Oh, hello? Well, I guess I'd say probably...
Winning every single prize. What's better than winning every single prize?
I can't think
Winning every prize times 2 with the Win All Doubler.
Well, you don't need me here, so I'm going to go pick up a scratch off.
New Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery with a chance to win every prize doubled. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.77 to 4.71. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The NFL playoffs are here, and there's no better way to stay up to date on the latest from our league than with the Around the NFL podcast. Join me, Dan Hansis, and my buds, Mark Sessler and Greg Rosenthal, for news and fresh content all playoffs long. We've been doing this together for over 10 years, and the playoffs always offer up something we've never seen before. We'll preview and recap every game as we make our way through the playoffs and to Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58. Listen to the Around the NFL podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Heed the call.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Kai?
We're in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville in the midst of the daily draft. The coaching cycle is about over. So according to my count here, there are 9 open coordinator jobs in the NFL right now.
Without looking, both the Chargers, the Raiders offense coordinator was open, but they're hiring Luke Getsy. It's just not been announced yet.
Both jobs for the Seahawks have been undecided so far.
There are rumors of where that's going to go, but I don't remember who they were.
Raiders offensive coordinator.
That's what I just said, Luke Getsy.
And Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator.
There are several thoughts there. I've heard Al Harris.
New Orleans Saints offensive coordinator.
It's already been hired. It's Clint Kubiak.
Oh, did that become
just
official?
Hasn't been announced yet.
Okay. So
it's a terribly kept secret.
There you go. All of them are filling up pretty quickly. And so today's daily draft, we're doing our favorite coordinator hires out of this cycle. I started with Kellen Moore, who he said it wasn't even on his list because he thinks that's terrible.
I do. I think it's awful.
Good Lord. Then I got Cliff Kingsbury to Washington, Arthur Smith to Pittsburgh. You went Anthony Weaver to Miami. He's the new defensive coordinator there. Zach Robinson, who's the new offensive coordinator for Atlanta, and Jeff Hafley, who moves from Boston College to Green Bay to be their defensive coordinator. So who's your next selection?
Shane Waldron with the Chicago Bears.
Yep, I don't like that. That was going to be on my list.
I'm curious. Look, everybody with the Bears that I talked to in Mobile said Caleb Williams is a foregone conclusion. I am not so sure of that. I am not as sure of that. I know what they said. I get it. I'm not so sure of that. Because I'm not so sure that you don't get in a room with him and there's a possibility that attitude that we've seen, this isn't an opinion. I've seen you do it. It could become a problem. I heard some low-key rumblings, nothing that I'm ready to report on, that there's going to be a big old storm come with Caleb Williams. Not 100% sure what that means, but I got some ideas. For me, Shane Waldron gives you I don't really care who it is. It can be Caleb if you feel comfortable there. It can be Drake May. It can be Jaden Daniels. To be honest with you, it could be Justin Fields. I just think I don't think you shoehorned yourself into doing anything. And you're getting a good coach with a successful scheme. I liked that hire a lot. And then I saw who else they interviewed, and I went, now I like it even more than I did before.
Shane Waldron, new head coach of new offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears. The Eric Washington hire you really liked as well. Is that what you were talking about? Was that the other hire that you were referencing that you liked?
Oh, in Chicago?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't reference another hire that I liked. I was talking about who else they interviewed for the offensive coordinator job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Shane Waldron, a bunch of crap I don't like at all.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying the other hire they made you like that better.
No. I don't mind Eric Washington. I just don't know him all that well.
All right, next, back to me for 2 selections here.
Correct.
Well, I want to say the Buffalo Bills sticking with Joe Brady and taking the interim tag off of him was a great idea.
I'll let you do it.
And then after that, Liam Cohen.
There it is.
Now,
There's
Liam
that
Cohen.
nepotism. I love nepotism. I knew you were going to do that, too.
Well, listen, I don't necessarily like or dislike Liam Cohen as a coach, per se. It just made every sense in the world for you to do that. And
is it solely because he was with Baker in L.A.?
Absolutely.
For an hour?
Absolutely.
In a situation that was
forced upon him.
And less than ideal.
Mm-hmm. But it's about the system. It's about maintaining that Shane Waldron system in Tampa. Canales brought it down. Liam has been around it for years. He was an assistant on that staff in L.A. for a long time. 4 or 5 years? 3 or 4 years?
3.
3 years?
3, came back as a coordinator and immediately left.
There you go. Went to Kentucky. Now he's back.
I don't know what to think about that one. I really don't. Liam Cohen has had 6 careers in like 6 years. He bounces around like a ping pong ball, which makes me nervous. I always hate seeing a guy that's had 5 jobs in 5 years because there's almost always a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he has been ascending through much of it. I'm just not sure. I think it's a fine hire. I understand the continuity. I'm not a dead soul that's going to be we're keeping the system in place.
Well, I mean, if you keep Baker, you are keeping the system in place.
Okay, but why do you keep saying that?
Because Baker had a Pro Bowl year in that system.
No, I got that. But what is it about Liam Cohen? Dave Canales and Liam Cohen have never met each other in their entire lives. So why are you saying that his systems, he's bringing his own system?
But it's the same system cut from Shane Waldron.
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, Shane Waldron was with Canales. Okay, I think I understand why you're saying this, because it's fallen off the same tree. That the roots of that tree are way away. Like you're out at the apples and thinking that things haven't gotten – this is not going to look exactly the same as what you had. It's the same premise.
Yes.
The terminology is different.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the nitty-gritty of this is different. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've heard a couple other people say vaguely what you just said. I don't think
because he was a member of Shane's staff, and then Shane went to Seattle.
Mike LaFleur was a member
Dave came from Seattle.
Okay, let me give you an example, just using the job that Liam Cohen left.
Mm-hmm.
Mike LaFleur was a member of Robert Saleh's staff. Do you think he runs the same system? No. He doesn't. I mean, you go back to Kentucky, those two things don't look anything alike. That was the reason he left L.A. in the first place, is that he wanted to kind of change some of what McVay did. You should look more to what the Rams are doing and think that's what you're getting with Baker than thinking what you had with Canales is going to carry on.
Okay.
Both things that Baker's familiar with, but you got the thing that he probably has the least familiarity with. And it didn't always go particularly well. But then you get into the yelling at clouds of, well, what else did you have?
Exactly.
There was nobody on the staff that I think you could promote into that.
And who else would
Canales
take that
took
job?
a lot of those dudes with him.
Who else would take that job?
Who would take it? I think there are a lot of people who would take it. But keep any form of continuity or somebody that Baker's familiar with, you might have, if that's what you're after, you would kind of shoehorn yourself.
I saw a headline today. Apparently, we're talking to Hillbilly Hand Fishing to bring him in as
Freddie Kitchens,
as some kind of
some
kind of a quarterback's coach or something.
I want to do a cable access show with Freddie Kitchens where we just gig frogs, and drink Busch Lights. We'll get Jim Bob Cooter to be our third.
Oh, Jim Bob.
He looks it, I talk it, Jim Bob's name sounds it. Let's go. Hillbilly Hand Fishing 2.0. All right, that leaves two for me.
That is it, yeah. That leaves your last pick.
I'll go Ryan Nielsen with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he did a good job with Atlanta last year. I don't buy that Jacksonville defense all that much, but they do have talent. And that's kind of what he just did in Atlanta. You brought a lot of pieces together that we didn't know how they were going to fit. And that's what you got to do in Jacksonville. You're going to have to put this puzzle together because you've got enough of the pieces. I can't tell you that it's finished right now, but it could be a whale better than it was last year. If you had an undrafted free agent, who was it? Because I'm going to say a name that might shock you.
Oh. I'd probably say Covington.
I would have said Ken Dorsey. I like him better than Van Pelt.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got a bad rap because he didn't work particularly well with Josh Allen. I'm not sure that he's not going to be an improvement for Cleveland.
All right. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back from the break, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a tranquil weather week. Looks like it's going to continue. Maybe Friday we squeeze out a few showers. Enjoy what we've got. This is some beautiful February weather. Sunny today, 55. Tonight, clear upper 20s. So a little chilly tomorrow morning, but sunshine and close to 60 in the afternoon. Remember that sun angle getting higher, so we warm up pretty quickly. And we will on Thursday with sunshine, 60. Chance of showers Friday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about posting jobs, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to ExpressPros.com to find the location near you. That's ExpressPros.com.
Welcome into this edition of CEOs You Should Know. I'm Mark Starling, and today we're talking with Jeff Furlan, CEO and owner of Hummingbird Insurance in Asheville. Jeff, what kind of charitable organizations does Hummingbird focus their efforts towards?
Well, we tend to focus our charity or our help on other organizations that focus on health or wellness in some way. Specifically, over the past few years, there are some food banks and also medical societies that we really like. And personally, I tend to like Bounty and Soul Food Bank that has very healthy, wholesome, a lot of farm fresh food locally. And then there's also Project Access, which provides medical consultations and possibly surgery to people that do not have the income and do not have coverage.
Thanks, Jeff. You've been listening to CEOs You Should Know, a short conversation with business leaders around Western North Carolina. To hear more of this conversation, just head to the audio archive of this station's website.
Get ready for the big game with the free iHeartRadio app. Pre-game with perfectly tailored playlists like Big Game Party and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Big Game, and listen now. Make the big game great with iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
Yes, Dad.
At Ingles, we know that not every Valentine's Day is 4-star perfection, with string quartets and swanky restaurants.
My boyfriend bought me flowers.
That it's not the money you spend or the elaborate lengths you go to.
Happy Valentine's Day!
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
First News on 570 with Mark Starling.
The 81-year-old booked her trip to Spain through a travel operator. Jackson realized the hotel she was staying at, get this, had too many Spaniards.
Oh.
She demanded a full refund. Why was she given anything?
It's like coming to Buncombe County and expecting there not to be hippies. I want to go to Asheville, but I hate liberals and beer. Well, you're screwed.
Weekday mornings at 6 on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you won't find PTSD by looking at a thermometer. Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a bandage. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
And you're in the Sportsocracy.
A little quick on the draw there, weren't you?
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400.
I usually get that look of, hey, I'm turning your mic on. Although I wasn't looking at you, so you might have given me that. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. It's all fine. It's all fine. Got to have a clearer throat to make this one work. It is time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes. And Jeremy, what kind of weird crime you have for us?
So this is not really a crime. I meant to tell this story earlier.
Okay.
So there's a trend. It's been a trend for a little period of time. It's taking a snapshot of your Spotify song and getting it tattooed on you. I'm not going to lie. I actually thought about doing this. I was going to get Amy and I's wedding song tattooed on me somewhere. Well, I'm not going to do that now. And let me tell you why. This started in 2017. It's been a really popular thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now people are finding out that it may not be the greatest idea ever. Because what happens as tattoos age?
No, they fade.
They fade. What happens to people as they age?
Their body size changes.
They get fat, or they get skinny, or they get hurt or harmed in some way. Well, do you know what's happening to these Spotify tattoos now?
Well, the waveform is not holding.
Well, they're stretching.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's yielding a new song.
That's awesome.
And it ain't the one that you put in to start with. I have been racking my brain going, what would be the funniest song that you could start with and then end with?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that could go very many ways. I mean,
my thought is that it would be you start with your wedding song, and then, life happens. Maybe you get divorced, and then there's a song on the other side of She Broke My Heart in the Trailer Park, like Rehab.
So you started out with like the Montgomery Gentry version of I Swear and wound up with All My Exes Live in Texas. Is that?
Oh, that's a good one. I do have an ex that lives in Texas too. That was a good deep dive because I'm not 100% sure you knew that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That was solid.
I had always wanted to do this. Like when I saw this technology came out, like that would be a cool idea to have. But the ones that I saw were not songs. They were like voices. Like you could have a recording of your grandfather saying hello or something, hey, this is your grandfather or something. And you could have it tattooed. And then there was a thing you could scan and it would play it for you because it reads the sound wave. Wasn't necessarily a song. It'd be.
See, for me, I want the wave file of that clip of TD Jakes going, swallowed up.
Still don't know who that is, and he's driving me insane.
You don't know who TD Jakes is?
No, you showed me that video earlier today, and I thought it was Cedric the Entertainer at first.
No.
And then I went, nope, that's a church video. That's not a comedy video.
Correct.
So I don't know who that person is.
Yes. I want that so people can scan it and go, oh, is this going to be? Oh, you suck.
This is going to be sweet.
You are awful. You're a horrible person.
Yeah.
Would have worked better if I was still single. Because that would have been hilarious. Just you know what? The joke writes itself. You figure it out. You're smart people. Figure it out.
Yeah. Like the final call of something would be cool. Like you get the final, like the Joe Buck call from the 2004 World Series tattooed on your arm. That might be cool. But there again, then if it turns into a Yankee call when your body shifts, I don't want that.
Well, I mean, the only thing,
or it sounds like a 78 slowed down.
The only problem I would have is that a Jet Super Bowl call would only be coming from Madden. So I don't need to hear Charles Davis talking about we won the Super Bowl.
No, you get the good one, the good version with Gus Johnson from a few years ago when he was on the Madden game.
If you were going to get a sports call, what would I mean? Yours is obvious when you sold your soul to the devil, Tom Brady.
Oh no,
mine
would.
That's probably the '93 national title.
As much as I hate Joe Buck, mine would be the Joe Buck, the dribbler back to Folk and he throws it to Minkiewicz. Yeah, that would be the one.
No, mine would be the Jameis Winston, Kelvin Benjamin catch in the end zone with as the clock is winding.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Although that would mean I had something affiliated with Jimbo Fisher and Jameis Winston tattooed on my body for the rest of my life. I don't think I want to do that.
But that's a good trade-off. You get Gene Deckerhoff. So
maybe I'll get that next to the TD Jakes, and then it's just really funny. Joke writes itself. You can figure it out. I can't say it here, but you know, and I know that you know. Let's go.
Indeed. All right. Do you have an actual crime story to tell us? Or?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
It's lost in this.
It's
computer
lost in the shuffle.
We're spinning right now. You know, and my computer apparently was not used to the Rage Box because I didn't have that in Mobile. And, I'm afraid if I touch anything at this point, everything's just going to go boop.
Just pulled up here on the front page. There's a story here from about an hour ago. The Dolphins are hiring Joe Barry. Did you see this?
I think he's the linebackers coach?
Joe Barry is being hired to the staff in Miami.
There's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
He will be the linebackers coach.
Yeah, there was a lot of gnashing of teeth that Miami had hired Joe Barry. It's like, you do realize this guy was just an NFL defensive coordinator. He has a merit of being on your staff. You just don't want him calling your plays because he's bad. Bad.
Some guys are better behind the scenes. Maybe that's Joe Barry's role. Now he will answer to the new defensive coordinator.
My guy, Anthony Weaver.
Do you believe that Miami, you mentioned them earlier, as a possible one-off team?
They're the most interesting team in the NFL to me. I shouldn't say the most. This offseason, they're probably a top 5 most interesting team in the NFL. Because Anthony Weaver feels like an all-in hire to me. Bringing in Joe Barry, that feels like an all-in hire to me. That you're trying to get the defense right because there were a lot of things that went wrong with that last year.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one just markedly bigger decision that if you don't get this right, none of the rest of it matters.
Tua.
And I still don't know what I would do. I'm never a fan of the lame duck quarterback. I don't want to go into that year because that almost feels to me like you don't have a plan. Because you go into that year seeing if he will prove himself. On the flip side, what if he gets hurt? What if Tua goes down again?
Then I haven't wasted the money.
I agree, and I understand that. That's not what I'm talking about. So, yes, you saved the money. What's your plan? Now you're the most desperate team in the NFL, and it's not close.
Is it better to have no plan and a hurt quarterback that's getting ready to be a free agent, or is it, or should I have a guy?
To me, if I believe in Tua that little, I'm not paying him regardless. I'm going to draw a comparison and see if maybe you understand where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So with all of the rankings and all of the NFL draft things that are coming out from me this week, next week, and in the weeks coming forward, you got to understand that all of this has been in process since August. So I didn't see anybody last week that I thought was just an absolute bum, and now I've got him in the second or third round. That's not how we operate. There were guys that I had some warm feelings about, maybe in the fourth round, and then I saw them against real live competition, up close and personal, and now I have them in the second round. Now I'm going to draw that parallel to Tua. If you think there is a snowball's chance in Atlanta that he is your franchise quarterback, he is. He is. There's a reason that no quarterbacks hit the market of this caliber since Kirk Cousins, and don't give me Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was about as on the market as I am. Cool. Hammer that contract out for us because it's been a headache, and we're going to match that immediately. So if you're to that point, you should be making other plans anyway. You should be looking to get out from Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, it's not like you're going to let him walk for nothing. So I just don't know what the plan is. That's my problem with a lame duck. No, I don't want to give him the money and then he gets hurt. But let's say he did get hurt again. I mean, knock on wood, he doesn't, and you never want to forecast injuries, but let's say he did.
Mm-hmm.
If he's your franchise quarterback, you throwing that baby out with the bathwater? Then it doesn't change anything. I mean, he gets another concussion. Does that mean his career's over? Because I'm going to say no.
No.
He just played a 17-game season with a game in the playoffs, didn't get hurt. So now you're back to step one in the first place. He either is or he isn't. And most of the bad decisions I've seen teams make about quarterbacks is because they played jump rope with that line of he is or he isn't. And if there's any inclination that he is, he probably is.
And you don't think Tua's given you that inclination yet?
I haven't seen anything out of him that's really changed my pre-draft on him, which is I think you're fine, and I think you've been propped up by what's around you your entire career. I think you played in a small spot in high school. You obliterated them. You went to Alabama. You were coached by Nick Saban. You had the best receiving core in the country. You displaced Jalen Hurts, which you couldn't do in camp. And then you went to the Dolphins. You were mediocre to bad until you had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Does that scream franchise quarterback to me? No. Ask yourself this question. This has become my new litmus test. You become czar of the NFL, and you can make one roster move. You put Kirk Cousins on the Miami Dolphins. Are they better right now or worse?
About the same.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. About the same. And
that ain't a franchise quarterback.
It's not a franchise quarterback.
Kirk Cousins is the sale price pork chop that you get at Ingles. Low prices, love the savings. See what I did there? And I like pork. It's fine, but I wasn't really after pork. But then you see it on sale and you go, I'm having pork tonight, which I'm getting ready to do after the show, by the way. That's why it was on the front of my brain. But did you go looking for that pork chop? No. See it on sale and go, oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. If I can get Kirk Cousins for $25 million, I got a starter.
Yes.
If I got to pay him $50 million, I'm out.
And that's where I'm at with Tua. I wouldn't be there.
That's where I'm at with Tua, too, and he has an injury history. He wants way more money. He's trying to get the bag. And I don't know that I'm tying all of these things I'm doing in Miami to Tua.
Mm-hmm. What's the bag? What does that look like?
For Tua,
is that
starts at 40. Now, anytime I say the bag, you just assume that number starts at 40. We've already set this baseline. That's what a starting quarterback in the NFL makes.
Yes. If that's what Daniel's getting.
I do love that he's the Mendoza line of crappy NFL quarterbacks.
Well, it's got to be. Because it's the biggest mistake quarterback. The biggest mistake contract I think that somebody's had in the last few years. $40 million to Daniel
I don't know
Jones
that I
is an
agree with
absolute mistake.
I don't disagree with you on the money.
Okay.
But you got to look at the situation. It's not in a vacuum. What else were you going to do? You have no receivers. You've got my dating record, which is a whole mess of threes, before I met my lovely wife. I mean, what quarterback was going, yeah, I can't wait to do that. You haven't been in a position to draft one. You were too good.
I'd have played Tommy Cutlets.
No, you wouldn't have. You'd have been fired before the season started.
Rather than pay Daniel Jones $40 million?
If you walked into a season with Tommy DeVito as the starter, you would have been fired before the season even started. Because you'd have seen that in the preseason, and there would have been a riot. Daniel Jones had at least shown good. And you got to look at the flip side of that. What if he had gone somewhere, I don't know, with a better offensive line, better weapons, something happens in the preseason, and he winds up in Minnesota and goes out there and throws 4,000 yards. Fired. And you've got Tommy Cutlets. That's easy for somebody outside of the business to say. If I wouldn't have paid him. No, you'd have paid somebody else. You'd have probably traded up in the draft to get somebody else that was every bit as flawed, if not more so. That's the reason somebody's willing to trade the pick. That's the problem, is that there's a very finite number of quarterbacks. And perception is reality. You can't walk into a season with absolutely no hope. Tommy Cutlets? That's no hope. None.
Maybe Tommy Cutlets wasn't the right thing to say.
No,
that.
the
But
other
Baker
quarterback,
Mayfield would have been.
The other quarterback on that roster was the right call. Tyrod Taylor.
There you go.
You could have sold that. And I feel like I've told you this before. You got to remember this is people's jobs. It's a bad look if Daniel Jones goes somewhere else for cheaper. Because even though he wasn't taking that from you, let's say he goes on the market, nobody's willing to give him $40 million, and he winds up at $10 million like Baker Mayfield. If the LA Rams didn't have Matthew Stafford, they would look pretty dumb if they'd been playing Stetson Bennett. And Baker Mayfield goes to Tampa on an $8 million deal and leads them to the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? Perception's reality. In spite of the fact that the average NFL fan probably knows 10% of what goes on behind closed doors. We, as pretty connected dudes, probably know 15%. That's the difference in people that watch it and people that do this for a living. I'm not sure the scouts are more than 25. There's a lot of things that happen behind a closed door that you never know. So we write our own narrative. And that's kind of where Tua falls. Tua is the most terrifying for me. Because if he's healthy and you put him in the right position, he's going to throw up stats, and you're going to look stupid. The average fan will see Tua throw for 4,500 yards and 30 touchdowns and go, why did we let that walk out the door? Because it's propped up. It's propped up, and we couldn't afford to pay the prop up and him at the same time. Now, if you've got a team that's already got that, Atlanta, and he goes there and Kyle Pitts is a 1,000-yard receiver, Bijan Robinson runs for 1,500 yards, and Drake London's got 1,000 yards. You look like a moron, and you're going to be working at the Home Depot. No offense, it's a great place to buy lumber. I just did it.
Well, hopefully you won't have to end up working at the Home Depot.
Hopefully not. But we got things transpiring here in old Western North Carolina, and that sports betting in this state goes legal on March 11th, and we have big news. We got a partner for you. It's DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. It will not be long until in the state of North Carolina. You can bet on same-game parlays, money lines, and props with DraftKings. Best features including odds boost, something we've never had before, and live betting. If you're watching a game like Jeremy does quite often and go, hey, why is Kansas City not – I need that. You can do it on DraftKings Sportsbook, and they're partnered with your favorite talk show here in North Carolina.
It's all coming up on March 11th. It all goes live, and you want to sign up now. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and bet on all your favorite sports once we go live only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Coming to North Carolina, March 11th. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or go to morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply, subject to regulatory licensing requirements. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC.
This is Carolina basketball.
2-on-1. Baycott finishes the transition hammer. R.J. Davis, he's going to try a quick three. Yes, from the right sideline.
On the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Ends up to Baycott, and he gets the run out. Two-handed flush. Carolina, it's Davis. He's fouled, and give him it.
This is your radio home for the Tar Heels.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
Okay, 3 more climbers, 7 loggers.
Ted's sustainably sourced logging company is growing a new branch.
What about truck driver contracts?
Which means a new HR manager will be the first hire to fall.
Then we'll need to staff up the warehouse.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 826-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics. 828-333-9517.
Want to get your hands on the next big thing? At Verizon, new and existing customers can trade in their old Samsung phone, any model, in any condition, and get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with Galaxy AI on us, with select unlimited plans. A better plan to save is Verizon. $999.99 device payment or a full retail purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line on unlimited ultimate or select 5G unlimited plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR.
The Ingles 2024 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest, presented by Champion Credit Union, will be held Saturday, March 9th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Pack Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and a parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a tranquil weather week. Looks like it's going to continue. Maybe Friday we squeeze out a few showers. Enjoy what we've got. This is some beautiful February weather. Sunny today, 55. Tonight, clear upper 20s. So a little chilly tomorrow morning, but sunshine and close to 60 in the afternoon. Remember, that sun angle getting higher, so we warm up pretty quickly. And we will on Thursday with sunshine, 60. Chance of showers Friday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
What's better than winning a prize on a Multiply the Cash scratch-off?
Oh, hello? Well, I guess I'd say probably...
Winning every single prize. What's better than winning every single prize?
I can't think
Winning every prize times 2 with the Win All Doubler.
Well, you don't need me here, so I'm going to go pick up a scratch-off.
You multiply the cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery with a chance to win every prize doubled. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.77 to 4.71. Problem gambling helpline. 877-718-5543.
Yeah, military life can have its challenges, but sometimes veteran life brings more. While serving in Iraq, an IED took both my legs, but it didn't take my spirit.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My name is Greg Gadsden, 26-year Army veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
DAV helps veterans like me get all the benefits they've earned, and that can be a life changer.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm an entrepreneur, photographer, and public speaker.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won. With the right support, there are no limits.
My victory is just being the best that I can be.
Greg Gadsden, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
25 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yeah.